Hey little witches, surprise! This is a very special bonus episode recapping the trip that Justina and I took to Boston in order to record our very first single, Magnolia Street, which we hope will be showcased on our very first EP that contains 5 of our original Practical Magic concept songs. At the beginning of this episode, you're going to hear a little bit of the promotional information we were able to record at Plaid Dog Recording. And then after that, Justina and I are going to go through each day we were in Boston. So stick around for that. Feel free to jump ahead with the timestamps, but buckle up. This is going to be a good one.
Hey witch, hey! I'm Justina.
And I'm Christina.
And we're the Stinas.
You might know us from our Practical Magic Fandom podcast called Magnolia Street.
And we're excited to announce that this is the start of our Plaid Dog crowdfunding campaign for our debut studio album, Magnolia Street Volume 1.
Would you go down to Magnolia Street, where everybody knows we're daring to speak about it? They jump off the roof on All Hallows Eve. Quite the sight to see at that house down the street on the nights when the air is thick and the black tongues sing. You didn't go down to Magnolia Street.
We live in such a brilliant era where people can connect, collaborate, and create all without ever having met each other. And that's exactly what happened to Justina and I.
Christina and I floated in the same circles on YouTube creating witchy content for years. We eventually bonded over our mutual interest of witchy things, especially our favorite movie, Practical Magic. What Christina didn't know was that I had been an aspiring singer-songwriter for years before I had even started my YouTube channel.
Music has always touched my life, and like many people, there was a song to fit every memory, every special moment. However, there was a story that helped shape my life that didn't have music, and my brain clicked.
In February of 2022, I woke up from a text message from Christina, and her proposition was intriguing to say the least.
I had this wild idea that I wanted to turn Alice Hoffman's story of practical magic into a musical concept album. But who could I share this crazy plan with? I had heard some of Justina's original music on Instagram, and it just seemed like a no-brainer.
And I'll be honest, at that point, I hadn't written music in years, probably over a decade. But Christina's message ignited a spark in me, and I felt like I had to hit the ground running. That same day, I pulled my guitar back out and I wrote the very first song for this project.
It was like the universe was conspiring to bring our creative energies together. I had heard Justina's music before, and it hit me with feelings of nostalgia and whimsy, and the same feelings I know we felt through the story of Practical Magic.
So there I was, looking at Christina's 4 words that she texted me, Practical Magic Concept Music, and suddenly I was bursting with ideas and melodies.
It was like the floodgates had opened. We were creating a musical narrative that we both cherished so deeply.
Our bond deepened as we shared our visions, our hopes, and our love for the Owens family, and of course the story of Practical Magic and our love of music and songwriting. Our mutual passion turned into a creative sisterhood, and we felt like we needed to start a podcast to get our music into the ears of the people who shared a love of the same story as we do.
And here we are, the Stinas, inviting you to walk down the bluestone path to Magnolia Street. This collaboration has been a whirlwind of inspiration. It's amazing how a book and a movie can transcend time and space and connect kindred spirits.
Over the past few years, the more we created and wrote music together, the more we were bursting at the seams to find a way to share our music with the world. We wanted to find a way to connect with other Practical Magic fans out there looking to fill a void that only music can fill.
We're excited to share that we're ready to take that next big step, but first, we need your help. This campaign is raising funds for our first professionally recorded EP with producer Mike Davidson at Plaid Dog Recording in Boston, Massachusetts.
We initially connected with Mike Davidson at Plaid Dog Recording because we were looking for a producer who could help us expand on the songs we were writing. We wanted to bring in new instrumentation and develop the ideas that could bring our songs to life.
We've already recorded one song with Mike called Magnolia Street, which you can listen to for free on this campaign page. This song is a great example of the EP we'll be able to make if our campaign reaches its goal. And if we're successful, we'll be able to get back into the recording studio with Mike and record the rest of our EP.
We've been able to cover the cost of recording Magnolia Street with the help of some close family and friends, but recording at this quality adds up quickly. Your contribution will go toward funding the production and the recording expenses for this project.
The success of this campaign would mean the world to us, and it would be a dream come true to see our Practical Magic-inspired concept music brought to life and recorded professionally.
We knew going into this project that we would need the resources to make this happen, so your support will help us get our music out into the world to all the other Practical Magic fans who love this movie.
In exchange for your generosity, we've created some awesome perks available to you only through your contribution to this campaign. To support this project, click the Back It button and Plaid Dog will guide you through the rest.
Thank you so much for checking out our campaign, and we can't wait to make more music for you very soon.
And we'll see you next time.
To go down to Magnolia Street where the wisteria grow wild, and the house of magic and mystery. So would you go down? Would you go down to Magnolia Street where everybody knows what sleepy town settling for the night, where the Owens women live their lives, and it's about time that the back porch light comes on at that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street.
Bitch, I've been waiting for so long to talk about this. I'm so excited.
Hey, witch, hey!
Bonus episode surprise.
Bonus bitches!
Bonus bitches.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm stoked. Okay. Whew.
Just quick question. Is this gonna come out the same day as a normal episode? Like double episodes on a Friday?
Bro, I can edit this today and have it come out tomorrow. With our
I'm just worried that if it comes off on a not Friday, no one's gonna listen to it. So I think it should also come out on a Friday.
Would you like it to come out Friday evening?
I think it should be a double feature.
Extra show in
Picture
the back row.
We're completely botching this song, and poor Avi and his ears. And if you guys saw we posted a small clip of us singing Rocky Horror in the car to our Instagram stories. So that was just a little slice of like what Avi had to deal with the entire
Oh my god. Let's start at the very beginning. All right.
Well, let's just preface this by saying this episode that you're listening to right now, right now, that lady's always going to come back into my mind whenever I say that. This whole entire episode is going to be about us recapping our Boston trip. As you guys probably have heard by now, we went to Waltham, which is the Boston area in Massachusetts, and we recorded some music. We recorded one song together so far of all of our original Practical Magic songs, and this was also the first time me and Christina ever met in person. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack here.
Even before that, you and we haven't talked about you submitting our information or how you got in contact with them. We haven't talked about any of that because we didn't want to poke the bear. We didn't want to jinx ourselves.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So we even like in the episodes previous to this, we haven't said anything about our project. But if you have been on our Instagram or our patrons, you had the little surprise of us being able to get together. But do you want to start at like the very beginning of, like we've touched on wanting to have this music made public somehow. We just didn't know how. And that's why we started the podcast.
Yes, absolutely. Christina, I'm so glad you brought that up because I was not even thinking about, like, we have not even said a word about any of this on the podcast at all.
We kept a secret.
We kept a big secret. So we should probably go back, recap all that and explain, what the fuck, like, where did this come from? Where did this music thing come from? I don't even remember like when was the first message. I don't even remember what month I contacted them in. Hold on. This was in June. All right. So I just want to begin this by saying that I was just scrolling through my Instagram feed, right?
Mhm.
And you know how like ads pop up for things all the time?
Mhm.
So I was just like scrolling through and this ad popped up and I don't remember what it said. It said something like record your next album in Boston. It said something like completely free or like you don't have to front any money for it or something like that.
Okay.
And they were looking for artists to, I guess, review their portfolio or their repertoire or whatever. So I submitted a few songs. I looked into it. I was like, this looks really cool. They had a portfolio of like artists they've already worked with on their site. And like, you know, I saw that it was crowdfunding. It was a crowdfunding kind of studio. And I was like, this looks really cool. This looks kind of up our alley. Me and you have talked about like when we finally do want to get these songs recorded, we wanted to kind of go that crowdfunding route because recording's freaking expensive. And I know me or you don't have the money to dig out of pocket for a music recording.
It's a lot of organizing too. Like I don't have the time to do that. And like we were talking about how Joseph of Grounded by the Moon, he does crowdfunding for his decks and like he does them so well. And we're like, how do you do that? It was really out of my wheelhouse.
Same. I've never done a crowdfunding campaign before, never attempted it. I never even understood the psychology behind it. Like, because like there is some psychology involved in like having people, you know, just throw their money at your project. And like, I'm like, no one's gonna want to pay for any of this. Like, you know, no one's gonna want to help us, you know, see our dreams come true and like want to see this music get produced and put this music finally out into the world in some way. So I saw it as a really great opportunity to be able to get some of our music recorded without having to dip into our own pockets. I submitted, I think, a song, and I think Magnolia Street was the song that I submitted. And within, I think, like, mind you, I did not tell Christina I was submitting this.
Did we record you telling me what happened?
I might have, but I don't even know where that recording is.
I would have no idea. June, you said?
It might be Zoom. I might have them on my computer. I'll have to look for them if I do. But so I did not even tell Christina that I was submitting music. You can understand her surprise when I told her there was a music studio in Boston that I submitted our music to and that they want to talk with us.
Yeah.
Because they really liked, you know, they liked the application, they liked the song that they heard, and they saw us as a possible candidate for doing a project at their studio via a crowdfunding campaign.
We had potential.
We did have potential. And it was just a demo, right? It was a rough demo that I sent them, like one of our early acoustic demos of the song, which I listened to back, by the way, after like I listened to the beautiful gold that Mike made us sound like. And my original demo was like garbage. Let me just So the fact that they even heard potential in that garbage ass demo is just blows my freaking mind.
Yeah,
So
I had no idea you were doing this.
Yeah.
I was perfectly happy just podcasting. It was fine. Like,
yeah. But the reason why we started this podcast was because of the music, right? And it always goes back to the music for me anyway, because like that's what we started writing the songs first, and we started the podcast as a means to get the songs out there, and this I saw as a means to even further get the songs out there, because once a song is produced and it's got that like radio polish on it, like there's no denying that like you can really turn a turd into a golden nugget with a little bit of production and a little bit of practical magic. So I submitted the material. They responded back. They wanted to talk with us. So me and Christina hopped on a call with I guess was the studio manager, Haley.
Yep.
Haley. So shout out to Haley. Thanks for reaching out to us and setting up that first meeting with us. And we had a couple phone calls with Haley, right? Like a couple like not evaluations, but
it was just feeling out what we wanted our project to sound like what if we had any more finished music, like what to expect, I guess, from you know, being paired up with a producer to a marketing what are they called? What's Sam? What is he?
Is he
marketing manager kind of thing?
Yeah, a marketing manager or the project. He's our project manager basically. Yeah. So we had a couple phone calls with her before eventually she set us up, which she set us up with Mike, our producer, right?
Very quickly, dude. And that was the other thing. We were, you know, there was no, after you told me, I'm like, cool, this will be like a really great experience. And we're not losing out on anything, like maybe like a half hour in a phone call. It's no big deal. Either way, it was very exciting, but also we were trying to rein in our excitement to a realistic level.
Yeah.
But she right away, she's like, all right, like, when can we set up a follow-up? I'm gonna pair you with a producer. I will let you know who that is. When can you talk next? And then it was like, boom, like the following week and a half.
Yeah.
She paired us up with Mike Davidson at Plaid Dog. He is the owner, operator, creator of Plaid Dog. Just an amazing person. Very patient, very talented person.
God, his
Yeah.
ears, his ears,
His ears.
his ears are splendid.
They're impeccable.
They're impeccable ears. So I'm trying to just remember because the whole thing is actually it's just been tunnel vision for me. So like it's hard for me to like remember logistically like what happened when. But did we talk with Mike before we actually started the crowdfunding, like the pre-pledges, because we had to go to family and like beg our family for money?
I think we had talked with him first. Yep. I think we talked with him first.
Yes, I think we had like one or two, maybe two phone calls with Mike before eventually like, you know, they explained the whole rundown and like how the crowdfunding works. And basically what we do first is go to kind of like our immediate like inner circle, like five of our closest people each, like
Which was fucking scary.
It was very
so
scary.
Yeah. So initially we had to talk to just our family and friends, and we're so grateful for the support. And that was in order to have a little bit of a budget in order to create this single that you're going to be able to hear now, the Magnolia Street single. Yeah. And from there, you know, they're able to judge kind of what a bigger budget would look like as far as getting more songs onto an EP.
That's right. Yeah, we did the whole budgeting after that.
We were able to make our goal with the single. And then like, so you said June, and we went up there September, July, August, September, within 3 months we were in a studio.
June 22nd was when we received the response from Haley as far as the artist application that I sent them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So then we, a couple weeks before we were in the studio, we did pre-production, which like, dude, this is all new to me. So I'm just explaining it in layman's terms. So correct me. But we sat down because as you hear in our intro and outro, you hear Magnolia Street, but like we were able to add all this instrumentation behind it. So the pre-production was setting up kind of what we wanted the drums to sound like, any percussion. We weren't even putting bass in. It was just drums.
Basically.
Yeah.
So before we even got to the studio, we had like one Zoom session with Mike to do the drum pre-production, and that was all the pre-production we had to work with basically before we even got to the studio, which was like, for me, like I'm so used to working with bands and like, you know, shooting ideas back and forth with the producer, and everything with Mike was just so streamlined. It kind of, I'll be honest, like it kind of made me a little nervous, like
a little skeptical.
Like I'm like, all right, I know this is MIDI drums because it's just pre-production. Once we'll get an actual drummer in there, it's gonna be fine, like, you know, because a live drummer is gonna go on feel, right? It's not stuck on the grid. So, you know, I was just trying to put blind faith in that, just like understanding and keeping that thought in the back of my mind. Just relax, Jess. It's gonna be okay. It's just the MIDI drums that sound kind of shitty, but
the MIDI sound shitty. The shitty MIDIs.
The shitty midis, but a drummer's gonna come in and make that sound fantastic. And of course, Steve came in and made that sound fantastic.
Shout out to Steve, who's on LinkedIn.
Not LinkedIn, only LinkedIn. Yeah.
We'll talk more about him in a little while. But so yeah, we did the pre-production, and then it was just a whirlwind because my little soul was so anticipating meeting you for the first time in Salem in October. And then I had to wrap my mind around Mike's words saying, all right, let's get you in the studio mid-September. Here are the dates that I have. What works for you? Yeah. And I was just like, oh shit, we're really doing this.
This is happening.
Yeah. Fire and air. Oh my God. I was so scared. And initially you and I had talked about tagging this onto the end of our Salem trip. And oh my God, I'm so glad we didn't.
I'm glad we didn't. Yeah.
I would have been dead. Yeah. So we would have done Salem the 11th through the 15th, and then the 15th through like the 18th. We were like toying around with being in the studio. But we decided we'll go up a month early. Then there will be no pressure. We can enjoy Salem. We won't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. No, it was nice that we went up a little early. It just would have been way too much if we did all that in one shot. I'm glad you were like, let's not do that. Because initially I wanted to do that. I was like, let's just do it in one shot. Because that means like, you know, I got to take off, you know, another couple days of work and then just making that drive for a second time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's 5 hours. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. Avi doesn't mind driving. Thank God. But thank you, Avi, for carting us around.
Oh my gosh, she's an angel.
Entire weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he drove us.
So then where should we start with me flying to you?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
So I came to you on a Thursday. The flight went fine. I flew from Charlotte to Newark, got in around 1.
Yeah.
And oh my God, like I thought San Diego airport was kind of like, but crazy.
Yeah.
Newark airport is crazy plus swearing. Like
Wait. You forgot about the chick that you showed me the video of her ass completely.
Oh, I'm getting there. All
Okay.
kinds of people. So I saw like nuns walking around, Hasidic Jewish men walking around, and then there's this girl who had her whole ass butt crack hanging out of her shorts. I had to Marco Justina and be like, I guess I'm in Newark now.
I'm like, welcome to New Jersey.
Oh my gosh. And Justina came to pick me up.
That was a circus because, all right, and I told Christina, I'm telling you guys, I don't go to the airport for anybody. My brother comes in all the time. He flies in from LA all the time. My parents go to pick his ass up because I ain't going to that fucking airport. I only ever drove to that airport by myself one other time, and that was to pick up Avi because he was on a business trip and he was coming home from China. That was the only other time I went to the airport by myself to pick somebody up. So you're lucky that I fucking love you because I don't do that for anybody. Just saying, just putting that out there.
Thank you. I know. Well, at first you had possibly had work that day.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you were like, well, maybe take a Uber. I'm like, no, please don't do that to me. And you're like, I'll just take off. I'll come get you. I think I want to splice in the audio of me seeing you. There was a group of fucking people in front of me that wouldn't move out the way. I was like, you can hear me on this clip. I'll be, excuse me.
No.
Excuse me.
You're being too polite. This is New Jersey. You just say,
Fuck off.
freaking move. Just move. Move out of the way.
Yeah. So I'm waiting. I'm like standing on one of the benches, like I'm so small. You're not gonna be able to see me. There were cars, so many cars. So Justina took a loop around. She missed me because
I missed
there
the
was
turn.
no way to pull in.
Well, before I even got to your terminal, I was on the highway and I missed the actual terminal exit
Oh, no.
because
That must have been what Avi did too when he dropped me back off.
yeah. So it says like Terminal A, keep right. Terminal BC, keep left. Okay. But when you're keeping left, there's 2 fucking lefts. It forks off. So I'm like, which left? So I took the furthest left and I went back onto the highway. So I had to loop all the way back around the highway.
No. And you had a specific song queued up.
I did.
Right? She had Faith Hill's This Kiss queued up.
Yes.
And you said I'm here, which I thought meant like I found an opening, I parked my ass, and I was like, well, I don't see you. So I called you, and you're like, you son of a bitch calling me. I had to re-queue up this fucking song.
I was like, what is she doing right now? I'm here. Why does she need to call me? Just get in the damn car.
So you were like, I'm near number 3. So I ran down to number 3 and I saw you and I threw my stuff in the back and I hopped in, and then we had to get out of there. And Justina's air conditioning wasn't working.
Oh my God. It was a nightmare.
The hottest day in Jersey that month.
It was like, it's the dash said 90 degrees, but it felt like Satan's asshole. It was like
so hot.
So freaking hot. And I don't have a GPS holder anymore for my phone. So
Yeah.
I have to hold my phone. I'm driving with my left hand, holding my phone with my right hand.
Yeah.
And like my hand sweat is just like the phone is just slipping out of my hands the whole entire drive there.
All looped up. Then we get in and we get out of there. We take a little different way home, and we were kind of both hungry. And she's like, what do you want? I was like, I don't know. She said, you ever have White Castle? I said, I have not. So we went got White Castle, but we didn't eat all of it. You were like, I kind of want pizza. I was like, what?
while I'm eating the White Castle, while I'm shoving burgers in my face, I was like, hey, after this, do you want to go get pizza?
Like, she knows how to party. So I ate 2.5 of my little burgers, and I was like,
Well, let's just explain. So, for anybody who has never been to New Jersey and has never been to a White Castle, like I told you, down south they make Crystal Burgers, which is like a knockoff White Castle. It's kind of shitty, I'm just saying. But if you come to Jersey, get the White Castle. They're like mini slider burgers. You could eat like
small.
4 of them in one sitting. They're very small.
Yeah.
I usually eat 2 and then save 2 for later when I get hungry.
But then you said pizza, and I was like, all right, let's go there. So then we went to a pizza joint, and it was so hot outside, plus the hot ass pizza. So we're walking it back to the car, and you're like, you at least have to have a bite. And that's all I got to have, because we got home and we just I fell on your floor. Did we miss something?
You missed the whole Addams Family house excursion.
Go ahead, tell that part.
That was before the pizza.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So before, yeah.
Oh my God.
You forgot about the whole thing. So we're eating White Castle, we're eating our burgers we're still on the highway. So I'm like, hey, do you want to go see, you brought it up to me. You're like, hey, did you want to go see that Addams Family house?
Yeah.
You said it was close to, like, where you work or where you live or whatever. I'm like, yeah, let's go see it. So I'm like, okay, so let's go get pizza too, because there's this really good pizza place in that town. That's probably like one of my favorite pizza places over there. So we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, see the house, get the pizza, done deal. All right. So we drive to Westfield. So that's where there's like this Addams Family house. Apparently that's what the comic book writer was inspired by. That house?
Charles Addams' inspiration for, I think it was a newspaper comic.
Okay.
There's a house in Westfield that we talked about in our Victorian architecture episode 29. And I remember you were like, oh my God, I go over there all the time. I've never seen this house. So we made a little field trip to go find this house.
Yeah.
And every single like fucking school bus, stop sign, school crossing guard was out at this time, because it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock or something like that. So all the schools were letting out.
Yeah.
We get there fucking finally, and we're like, oh cool, there it is. And we drive past it. He was like, did you want a picture in front of it? I was like, yeah, kind of. So we go to the next block. She takes a left. I thought you were going to loop around there, but you take another right and another left, and then you tried to do a U-E.
I did a K-turn. It's a K-turn.
Yeah. And then we get stopped at the intersection by the crossing guard. Stop sign.
She was so slow. She was moving so slow.
Cars coming the other way, and you wanted to beat the car coming the other way. What the hell did you call her?
I was like,
put the stop sign down, Nancy.
Or no, Carol. It was Carol. Christina died.
Okay, you're like, put the sign down. Put the sign down. Put the sign down. Put the sign down, Carol.
Put the sign down, Carol.
Wide open.
Was it wide? My window was probably open. Yeah, she probably heard me call her Carol.
So we turn, we get back on that main drag where the house is. We pull up, and then Justina just curbs her car wheel.
I parked. I think I was attached. My hubcap was probably attached to the curb at that point.
Yeah. We jumped out. We took our little picture, and we jumped back in the car. And then we got pizza in a sweaty ass puddle of velour.
Oh, we were so moist. It was just disgusting.
It was hot.
It was disgusting. It was the most disgusting day of the year. So yeah, we took our picture. It was on a main road, so we had to like be quick about it. And then I'm pretty sure when I like turned my wheel to get off the curb, like you heard the like the crunch.
Your poor car.
And then we went and got pizza.
Struggling. And then every now and then there was like a whisper of the air conditioning. And it only happened when you would like take a corner in a certain direction or go over a certain speed. I don't know.
Oh my God. I don't know what. I don't know. I think anything over like 85 degrees, my car is just like, no, bitch.
Because Avi was saying the same thing with his car, right? It was like not turning over at one point. It was just so hot.
Of course, my air conditioning only works when it's like, when I don't need it. When it's like 70 degrees and I can open my windows, it's like, all right, bitch, you need air? I got you. I'm like, but I don't need it now. Why don't you come back when it's like 98 degrees and I have a guest here? I'm just making Christina sweat her ass off in my passenger seat.
Yep. Yeah, we got very familiar very quickly, but we got our pizza. Oh, dude, I love that thin ass crust pizza. It's so good.
Jersey, New York, baby.
Oh, so good.
You have the best pizza.
Took it back to the house. I met the kitties, but I just laid on your living room floor for 10 minutes, and you brought me an ice pack. You said, put this on your head.
I'm pretty sure we just sat there for the next 20 minutes, just like with ice packs, just rubbing ice packs all over our sweaty ass bodies, watching Christine McConnell paint wallpaper from scratch.
And then I was going to go munch a little more of my pizza, and I had like maybe another bite. And you were like, oh, don't get full. We have to go to my parents' house later for dinner. And I was like,
ah, shit. Because
Yeah.
you said your mom was making the stuffed artichokes and I was getting shrimp scampi. And I was like, she's fucking right. I can't get full. So we
Yeah.
I think we rinsed and then we went to your parents.
Yeah.
I met Avi before then. You started packing a little bit and all three of us got ready, went to your parents, and your mom and dad are so freaking nice. Your dad is so talented. Your mom is so sweet, and they have the funniest fucking stories. Had amazing food, just so funny. Got to hear embarrassing stories of you guys.
Oh God, yeah.
It was wonderful. And your mom greeted me with like, "Hey, witch, hey!"
Hey, witch, hey. I told
really
you
lovely.
she was making her stuffed artichokes the night before you came. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, so they got to marinate in the pot a little bit before you even ate them. So they're good they're better the next day.
Yeah, they were amazing. So we hung out there for a little while, like 10, 30,
Yeah.
10, 10.
Yeah, we were there because we had to get up early and leave for Boston.
I
right?
know we haven't even gotten to the Boston stuff yet.
So what were your
both of us
thoughts on my childhood home?
Yeah, yep. Which all the additions, all the little Victorian details, so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And then this comes back into play later. We talked about how your house has like a feeling in it. I think we talked about it and this hasn't come out yet, but episode 49.
The exorcisms and hauntings.
In the episode?
Yeah. We talked about it at the end when we were like on the couch and we were like,
okay. Well, then I won't say anything.
okay.
But guys, keep an eye out for episode 49 about her home.
Her childhood home.
Yeah. Your neighborhoods are adorable. They're so cute. Very small town, suburban, like
Suburbia.
yeah. But we did have to get up the next day, packed up, left around 9:30, 10 o'clock, about 10.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep. And we just battled the New York traffic. We went through the Bronx. We got to see the George Washington Bridge. We rocked out to the to music, a killer playlist for 5 hours.
It rained a little bit.
It rained a lot of it. As soon as we got through Connecticut, I think it started. We could see in the distance the clouds were black. You could see lightning every couple minutes. Avi was so good. Like
wasn't that on the way back home? That was the way back home.
It was both.
It didn't rain. Really? I don't remember the lightning on the way.
We were like behind the storm. It kept moving north as we kept driving north, so we could see it in the distance. And we had a appointment. We had the opportunity to visit the Wayside Inn.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And we were so nervous that we were going to get stormed out. And we were also planning. I'm getting so ahead of myself. We drove into Boston. We got to the hotel. The storm had stopped. The hotel room was very nice.
It was just a hotel. I mean, initially Christina was going to stay at this little room in the studio, right? Remember?
That's right. Because, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't do that. They had a space at the studio that I could sleep in, but they didn't have a shower or a bath. Like they had a bathroom, but no shower. And we were like, we'll just stay all of three of us together. And I'm so happy we did.
Yeah.
So we got to the hotel. We were coordinating with.
It was nice, the hotel, because we had like a little kitchen. Not even a kitchenette. Like it was a full ass kitchen. It had a fridge. It had a full stove. It had an oven. It had a microwave. It had everything. Yeah. So literally, like we didn't have to go out to eat as much as we did. We probably could have cooked. We brought stuff to cook stuff there, but like like after getting home from those studio days, like those 2 days, we were exhausted, man. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to fucking cook. So yeah, it was a really nice hotel. Me and Avi had our little master bedroom. Christina had her little setup on the couch. Yep. And it was nice. It felt comfortable.
I think it was really good. You guys got to have your little privacy in the evening, and the only thing was like the bathroom. The only bathroom, you had to walk through the master bedroom, through a little vestibule, and then you could get to the toilet. So I just ended up running downstairs 2 or 3 times to go to the bathroom.
You should have knocked on the door.
I'm not gonna wake you up. It was just much easier and less embarrassing if I just went downstairs.
No. I also was gonna say something else. The only other thing was the shitty room service, because remember we asked them for the room service and like they weren't Christina called them like how many times to bring up towels, and they never brought up the towels. Oh my God. Like, I would have just used the same towel for 3 days, because that's what I do at home. I'm like, I just use the same towel, it's fine. But Christina's like, I need a clean towel.
No, I don't. They specifically asked us, do you want room service every day?
You're right, they did.
So I said yes, because there's 3 of us, and like I would have been fine using the same towel, but I'm like, hey, you offered. And then I was on a goddamn mission, being in hospitality myself. I'm like, you should be doing
right. That's right. All right. So in that aspect, I can see it from your perspective, because you work in hospitality. So I would have also been pissed if I saw somebody slacking on that shit.
Yeah.
100%. Anyway,
But nice hotel, plenty of room, very comfy.
Very nice.
But we had to meet up, so we got there 4:00,
something like that.
and we were meeting with Lauren
Prescott.
who you want to intro this
All
part?
right. So, a couple weeks before our trip, we had reached out. Actually, I think the Wayside Inn. We talked about. Well, first of all, we talked about the Wayside Inn on our Sudbury episode. So go listen to our Sudbury episode, and we talked all about all the myths and the myth and the lore behind the resident ghost Jerusha Howe, and we told her whole story on that Sudbury episode. And then we posted it to our stories, and I think the Wayside, like we had some correspondence with them on Instagram.
I think I messaged them. I was like, hey, we talked about you guys, and they messaged us back like almost immediately, and we got to talking with them.
Yeah, and we told them we were going to be in the area, and they offered. They said, if you're ever in the area, we would love to give you a private tour. And we took them up on the offer, and we said, we're going to be there this date, this date, this date. And we set the date. And so when we got there, we checked in the hotel first, got situated, and then we made the little drive. It was like a 20-something minute drive from the hotel to Sudbury, right?
We saw the Sudbury Municipal Building, the Sudbury Laundromat, the Sudbury Bowling Alley.
Yeah, we saw everything. So, Lauren Prescott, the wonderful woman who is the archivist at the Wayside Inn, she is the one who gave us the tour, the private tour. She took us with her. I guess she was, pretty sure she was trying to leave work while we were getting there.
She was probably waiting on us. So she did. It didn't seem like she was rushing through the inn, but it was like she wanted to go home, because it sounds like the traffic there, it could take her up to 2 hours to get back home.
Her commute that she was telling us about is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So we got to the Wayside Inn, we met up with her.
But before that, we were singing up a storm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what were we singing in the car? I don't even remember.
Rocky Horror.
Oh, no, not yet. Rocky Horror was on the way back to the hotel.
What were we doing?
We were singing that song.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. We saw the coach house, which is now their office for right now. And she took us through the inn. Avi was kind enough to record the whole thing. So I think we're going to try to put together a bonus walkthrough of the inn with all of Lauren's information.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think of the whole thing is like, again, like tunnel vision. It's such a world. That whole weekend was a whirlwind. Everything happened so fast. I was just trying to be present the whole time and just like take everything in one thing at a time, so I don't get overwhelmed, but the tour was great. The one thing that stuck out in my mind was when she showed us Jerusha Howe's room, where people are able to stay, right? People are still able to stay in that room. And you can see in the ceiling beams in the boards where people would put folded up little notes of their accounts. They would like write like little journal entries or like little notes of like their experiences in the room, and if they've encountered Jerusha's spirit. And all those notes are just tucked in through the little crevices of the ceiling.
Packed in. They're so packed in there. Right. And people were staying in there. We couldn't go. The door was open. Thank gosh, we were able to see it. But like people had like put their like toothbrushes out and stuff like that, because you can stay in the room.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, even though like people were staying there, room service must have been, or the what's it called? Hospitality must have been in there trying to change over sheets or whatever. It looked like the bedding was like kind of like taken off a little bit. Okay. Like they were changing stuff over. Maybe that's why the door was open.
Maybe, yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a policy that if you're staying here, the door has to be open at all times, so tourists can see the room, Yeah,
it could be. We got the bombastic side eye from one of the ladies at the desk downstairs. Like, I don't think she saw Lauren walk down the stairs, but then I followed, then you, then Avi, and she just saw me and she was like, "Hi, can I help you? Like, what are you guys doing here?" And they're like, no, we're with Lauren." And I don't think she believed us right away. And then Lauren popped her head back around the corner and she's like, they're with me. They kept going. But I'm sure it looked weird because like I think we were in black. Like all three of us were in black, so we might not be the normal demographic that goes through there.
We looked like thieves.
And honestly, I think people there thought we were actually somebody's.
Yeah. It was a really weird thing, right? Like, we'll get to that in a second. But the one other thing I wanted to say about Jerusha is that on our Sudbury episode, when we talked about her whole ghost story, there was some claims that she was this like lonely spinster. She had this lover who was like a sailor who came to visit. and then like he left and never returned, and he just disappeared, and I don't know, sailor got lost at sea. I don't remember what the whole story was, but basically we asked Lauren about that, and she was able to clear it up for us. She said, no, that is not true. That is a made up thing. Ghost Hunters was here, and Zach freaking Big.
It was the Valentine's Day thing. I want you to go over that as well.
Yeah, it was the Valentine's Day episode of Ghost Hunters. Is there a show called Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures?
Oh, Ghost Adventures?
I don't remember what it's called. What's Zach Bagans' show
Zach
called?
Bagans.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, they made it up for that show, which is really weird because when I got home, I watched that episode. I found it just to see what the whole episode was about, and like, see what they said about the Wayside Inn. The whole thing was just bizarre because I'm like, all right, they're interviewing these people. I guess they worked at the Wayside Inn. Like, you know how like in the bottom, like left-hand corner, it's like, Joe Schmo, innkeeper, or like whatever. Like it says their profession. Yeah. Like it would like tell you who the person was, and like they had like they worked at the inn. But I'm like, are these people really inn workers? Are they really a part of the Wayside Inn, or are they just cast members put there by Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures or whatever to play the role of somebody who works for the Wayside Inn to give these false accounts? Because I don't think any historian or any person who actually worked at the Wayside Inn would give that kind of false information.
Yeah, I would perpetuate that myth.
Exactly, because Lauren was very quick to dispel that for us. She was like, no, that's not true. They just did that for that episode. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it's nice to know the truth.
It is. Yeah, guys, please go check out like the extra stuff over on our Patreon to hear all it, because she had way more. She had so much that she talked about. We got to go through the whole place, minus like the private guest rooms. So she showed us all around the inn, gave us amazing information, but then she was like, I also want to show you like my creepy office in the basement of a church if you're down. And we're like, we're not fucking down.
That's right.
Yeah. So right next door, across a little, it's the old Nations Ford Road or something like that.
Yeah.
Now a dirt road.
It's like like a 5-10 minute walk from the main inn to the church. It's not on the same grounds. It's like a little bit of a walk, but
next block, block and a half over.
I had on my fucking chunky boots.
Poor Justina's ankles trying to off-road this terrain was treacherous.
I didn't realize we were gonna be walking on gravel.
I didn't know either. I'm sorry. We could have driven. But we went, this church is quintessential white church steeple on the top, set on the top of a hill. And it was almost a golden hour when we went over there. So it was like really fucking pretty. So we went over, and her office and all of the artifacts and everything they found at the inn and things people have sent in or found or connected to the house estate are housed down there. And the entrance is in the back of the church. No, she said there's no light sometimes in the winter when she comes out of there. And so we go into this basement. It's very damp. It's very dark.
Musty.
It's musty, so it's not good for any of the artifacts they find, right? They're not called artifacts. Like, what would you say that?
Well, like
archival information.
One thing that I do want to mention is that they put them down there. Do you remember why? Because
yeah, go ahead, tell them.
Because it's fireproof down there. So like nothing can, I guess, burn down because it's underground, but it's not temperature controlled. So the quick temperature change from season to season, like the very, very hot of the summer to the very, very cold of the winter, like it's wearing on all of these artifacts that they have in this archive. Because, mind you, the Wayside Inn, did it say that it burned down twice, or was it just the once?
I think it's twice.
Twice, right?
Yeah.
Twice. So I guess like that fear instilled in them because from their prior experience, they want to do all that they can to protect all of the stuff that they have in their archive. So that's why they keep it underground. She did tell us that they are currently working on a different building, like a renovation or something. So they're going to move all of the stuff from the basement into a new facility that will be open to the public, right? She said, and that will be temperature controlled, so it will be much better for all the stuff that they have in their collection.
Yeah, and that place is packed, like the breadth and width of the church basement. Everything is packed with all the archives and amazing historical stuff. So we went down there. I could not imagine going down there by myself to work. And then she said that she now and again would hear the organ upstairs go off.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Also, it was so freaking hot in that church.
It was very hot. Yeah. She took us into the church itself too.
Yeah, yeah. And she also told us that they filmed a movie called The Unholy starring Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who you guys might know him as Negan on The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he is also the husband of her name is Hillary. What the hell is her freaking last name?
Burton.
Yes. Hillary Burton.
Is that really it?
Yeah, I think it's Hillary Burton. Yeah, so he is married to Hillary Burton, who used to be an MTV VJ. I think that's how she broke into the business. And then she was also on, I forget if it was One Tree Hill or the OC, one of those like WB teen dramas. She was on one of those shows. And then she was also on The Walking Dead, playing Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife as Negan's wife on The Walking Dead.
Aww.
She actually, on the show, she was sick with they gave her character cancer, and I think she had I don't know if she had a brain tumor, but she lost all her hair, and then she passes away on the show, becomes a zombie. And then when they do Negan's flashback, I think he's the one that has to kill her to
Yikes.
To make her not a zombie anymore, to just let her pass on.
We were gonna watch Unholy, but we didn't get a chance to. But now I guess Lauren has seen that movie, and she's like, after seeing that movie, also it's just puts a whole nother negative vibe on the place, right? That's what she's saying.
Yeah. But one thing, I was trying to swing it back around to Hillary Burton being Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife, that connection. Hillary is also an author, and she is going on tour with Alice Hoffman
right
in October, and we are actually going to see Alice at that date. So all connected.
It's so funny. I forgot all about that.
Bringing it back around.
Yeah. On the same property, right next door, is that little red schoolhouse that we mentioned in our Sudbury episode that is said to be the little schoolhouse from
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
There we go.
Yeah, that nursery rhyme.
Yep. And then the first thing that caught our eye, which I was chomping at the bit to get back to, is right when you walk in the front door of the Wayside Inn, next door is this low ceiling, dark pub. And we were like, we're getting a drink at that pub. It was so cozy and quaint. It had a fireplace that wasn't going, thank God, but maybe a booth and 5 tables.
Something like that. It was like a little tavern, little ghostly tavern.
I loved it. So that's where we finished our tour, and we ordered drinks.
Wait, before that, do you remember when she showed us the video of that specter that she caught on her camera?
Right. Lauren left, she said the one crazy thing I wanted to show you, it was in Jerusha's room, right? Or right outside in that hallway.
Yeah, I think it might have been upstairs somewhere, but she actually showed us in Longfellow's room, right? The downstairs little dining area or whatever.
That I guess their Ring camera had been set off, and she says it never gets set off by dust particles, nothing. Yeah. But something set it off, and there was a very visible orb that was floating around that she had a footage of.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Very creepy.
Yeah. I think I was overwhelmed with the beauty. This happened also at the Winchester Mystery House. Yeah. Overwhelmed with the beauty of it and the historical importance of it, that I wasn't even opening myself up to feeling anything. And also people were there eating, people were there working and stuff like that. So I'm sure it has a much different feel at night when everybody's quiet and settled down. And it's nice that Jerusha's a nice ghost.
I know. Yeah. She seems like a friendly ghost. There was one other thing I wanted to mention that we did talk about in our Sudbury episode, and that was the coat of arms that we talked a little bit about. And they have that displayed in a case with some other stuff in their collection that I guess that people who have previously lived at the inn, or ancestors of people who have lived at the inn, have donated these items back to their archive. So they have all this stuff behind a glass case. We got to see the actual coat of arms that we talked about on that episode, which was really cool to get a visual, because I didn't know what it looked like, kind of just talking about it,
because there was a little picture of it in the book that you had found, right?
Yeah,
that article PDF.
Beautiful, because it was color, somebody painted it or something, so it was just really cool to see that displayed in the case there.
Yeah. My other favorite thing there were the letters of the not innkeepers, but other people who had worked there. They had behind glass, just letters back and forth to each other, or letters about what they did in their day. Thought that was really pretty.
Do you remember the other thing, the how they tried to preserve flowers and leaves and stuff in a little book? It looks so witchy, right? It looked like something out of the Owens family bar or something,
You know
right?
what we didn't mention was that room, the little goblin room. What did she call it? Remember they saw a floor gremlin or some shit in there? I don't know what they call it. A
Oh,
hobgoblin.
a
Hobgoblin room.
hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Wait, was that the one that like you look over and it's kind of like it drops down? Was that the one?
I don't remember. I just remember I had a big fireplace. It was empty. It was kind of lighter color, blue, like a light blue.
I don't remember
I don't
that
know.
one.
Yeah, hobgoblin room.
Yeah.
Anyway, we wrapped it up. She showed us the spooky video and we made a beeline for the bar.
Yeah.
We grabbed our seat.
Two taverns in that place though, right? There was like she took us into like another one, like another like kind of restaurant area, but that was also kind of like had a dark kind of feel to it.
It did, yeah. Nobody was seated in there though, having dinner.
I think Ghost Hunters, I think that was the room that they filmed in
I want to go watch this episode now.
where they're eating because like
Okay.
in the beginning of the episode they do like a whole stupid little stint in like a dining area. There's people surrounding them eating dinner or whatever, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's all staged and they're all extras because this scene is so cheese and they're like talking about like past episodes and stuff and
I
they're
want to go watch it.
quote dining at the Wayside Inn.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I would have loved to try the food. It smelled really good in there
it
too.
did smell good. Yeah,
I ordered a maple old fashioned, delicious. And Justina, what'd you get?
I got was it the Jerusha's Ball? I don't remember what it was called. Something
Jerusha's Ghost Martini.
Jerusha's Ghost Martini.
Yeah.
It's
Dude.
on we talked about it on our Sudbury episode because that blogger, whoever like was talking about it, had gone and like tried some of the cocktails there and that was their signature house cocktail. But what did the bartender tell you when I asked you to order that drink for me?
Yeah.
What did he tell you?
Avi and I were standing there, and firstly, the bartender I had ordered first. I said I want the maple old fashioned. He was like, "There's always one right at the end of my shift that wants the drink that takes the longest to make." And I'm like, "Fuck, I'm sorry. Like, I'll leave you a tip. It doesn't take that long to make." He made it very quick. And then Avi ordered his drink, and then Avi ordered the drink for you. He's like, "May we also have the Jerusha's Ghost Martini?" And the bartender looked at us like, "What?" Like he was like, "How do you know about that?" I said, "Well, we host a podcast. We did a little focus on the Wayside Inn and we heard about it there." He was like, "I have not heard anybody ask for that drink in 19 years." And he was like, "It's a good thing I've been working here for 20 years and I still know how to make it." So he made her a delicious ghost.
That's crazy. So wait, my thing is like, how old was that blog that post that we read then, you know?
I don't know. No idea. But it was at the end of his shift. A new guy came on right after that. So I'm glad we had him.
Yeah, that's right. So do you think that guy was a ghost? Do you think
Yeah. He knew everybody.
a
That's
ghost actually made my martini?
all those people in there were regulars.
Right. Yeah.
So cute.
It was
So
such
cute.
a cute. It just had like a cool spirit about it. So we sat in there. We took some pictures with our little martinis and our drinks, and you
Proceeded
guys
to get a little tipsy.
we got I think very tipsy. We were bantering back and forth with the bartender. Like he's I'm pretty sure he's like probably bored. You know, what's he doing back there by himself? He's listening into everybody's conversation.
You caught him talking on one of our recordings.
Yeah. So me and you were talking. We were doing a little check-in on the camera. He like butted into the conversation and he said something. I think we were talking about the cow wow or the kuwu or
Ooh,
the
yeah.
drink. Yeah. And he's like, "What do you think that drink is called?" I was like, "Cow wow?" He was like,
Yeah.
"But there's two O's. Everybody always says cow wow, but it's actually two O's. So do you think
Just gonna
still call
stick it
cow
to a
wow?"
couple of hotties in the corner.
Yeah. And Avi's just like sitting there just laughing.
It was so comfy and cozy, and those drinks were delicious. But we felt a little rushed because we had like maybe an hour. We were trying to get back to the hotel to do our live, which we planned to do at 7. We were going to hop on and surprise everybody with us being together.
Yeah. But do you remember we signed the guest book?
We did. Mhm.
Sign the guest book, and as we're signing the guest book, I think the other bartender came out to talk to us, and like he was like, "So are you guys like part of like a ghost hunting thing or something?" Like,
Yeah, he was
"Oh,
like, "I
no."
heard you're."
He was like, "We get a lot of ghost hunters around here," and we were like, "Oh no, we're not ghost hunters."
Yeah. I thought he was like, "Oh, so are you guys staying overnight? Are you, I heard you were, filming something." And we're like, we're fucking
nobodies.
nobody. Yeah, he was so nice. I did end up recording audio from him, which I can share, I guess, in a little after hours thing, just his. But he was very sweet, and he was telling us about what they grow on the property, and that down the road there's a grist mill, and that's the Pepperidge Farm inspiration for the grist mill on their logo, which we drove past. So pretty. We didn't get to stop. We were in a rush. We were a little tipsy. We wanted to sing. We need to get back to the hotel.
We need to sing Rocky Horror and annoy Avi on the way back. Yeah.
And that's the clip that you shared, because I'm in my dress. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have tons of footage between our walkthrough with Lauren when she took us through, and we have a little clip of our banter with the bartender at the bar, and a little bit. I think I actually videotaped a little bit at the end too when that guy was talking to us,
yeah?
and he was,
Cool,
like asking us if we were like ghost hunters and stuff, and us signing the book. I have a little footage of us signing the book. So if you guys, we'll try to put together a little like montage or like a little something of our time at the Wayside, and we'll post that over on the Patreon if you're interested about our Wayside in adventures, because it was just so cool to be able to get a private tour there. Thank you again to Lauren and
thanks.
everybody at the Wayside for letting us have that experience. And the drinks were great. The drinks were
Highly
great.
recommended. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, great. Anyway,
We got back and we did our live, and we had planned to start recording our episode 49 right after that, but we were so fucking tired that we went to bed at like 9:30.
yeah, we turned in early that night. Yeah, what did we eat for dinner that night? I don't even remember. Do you remember what we had for dinner?
Avi, did he go get us stuff?
We got pizza the next night, so I don't remember. What did we do?
We went downstairs because we
Oh.
thought the restaurant downstairs was open, but it's not like that. It's not like that at all. But
Yeah.
what came on over the loudspeakers?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That Marvin Gaye song, Got to Give It Up, off the Practical Magic soundtrack.
And we were like, oh my God. And I started filming, and the bartender was like, do you want me to turn this up? And we're like, yeah.
Yes, please. Turn it up.
Yeah.
So we geeked out for a little bit, and everybody that was in the bar was looking at us like we were strange because we were like geeking out over this random ass song.
That's the night we went to, I got the poke bowl and you guys got the burger.
Ooh. I got that good bolognese.
Oh, it looked much better than my poke bowl.
Yeah, that bolognese was pretty fucking slamming. And for all day being on the road and not having eaten much, it like hit the spot. I'm pretty sure it secured my food coma, allowing me to just drift peacefully off into dreamland at 9 p.m. that night. 'Cause that is
fucking
early.
right.
That is early for me, and you know
That's
that.
fucking right. Yeah.
That was day 0. We ate at the restaurant, and then we went back, and then we pretty much went to sleep.
Mhm.
Right? We were we were toast that day. Because we
100%.
also had an early call time. The studio, we had to be up bright and early to be there by 10 a.m. the next morning. So
Yeah, but before that, we had to get showers. We had to eat.
Yeah.
We had to. But we'll touch back on. We'll come back to that, right?
yeah. Is that it for that first day? Is that it? Was there anything else you wanted to mention on the first day?
I think I was just surprised that everything was like the rain had stopped. That song came on. We were able to get a Jerusha's Ghost. We got our tour. Like everything was just wonderful. All the people were so nice.
Everything just like it was such smooth sailing. It was
Mhm.
just all too easy. And it's funny, those like little occurrences that let you know you're on the right track or the right path, like synchronicities. Like that song coming on the radio, it was just like a little nod from the universe, like, yep, you guys are doing God's work.
You're doing God's work. Yeah, the universe was like, go ahead, go have fun, girls.
Go have fun, girls.
You earned this.
Yeah, so just like a little pat on the back from the universe, like, yeah, you're on the right track. We heard the song and we were like, okay, we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and thanks again to Avi for driving. We're gonna keep touching back on these synchronicities too. Like that, it didn't end there.
No,
It
did
didn't
not.
end with that good luck.
No. So should we take a little break here? And when we come back, we'll dive into day 1 of our time at Plaid Dog Recording Studios.
Sounds good. All right.
We'll be right back. Hey, little witches! The Stinas here. If you've been listening to our podcast for a while, you would know how much we love using the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle deck by Grounded by the Moon.
And now we want to share the magic of Grounded by the Moon with you, our listeners. Joseph Benitez Egerton, the creator behind Grounded by the Moon, would like to offer this very special 10% off discount to all who wish to experience the magic of his Practical Magic themed tarot and oracle decks.
But that's not all. He also creates other divination tools like tarot workbooks, deck bags and altar cloths, pendulum kits, oil blends, cleansing sprays, smoke wands, teas, and ritual kits.
And let's not forget about his custom handcrafted, all-natural soy candles, where every candle is hand-poured and personally infused and charged under the light of the moon. They even come with a crystal.
And did we mention all of the ingredients in the candles are ethically sourced?
All of Joseph's offerings are just so magical. So go visit groundedbythemoon.com and use the coupon code Magnolia Magic for 10% off your entire order at checkout.
That's MAGNOLIA MAGIC. So get your discount today. God damn it. Wait, hold on.
God damn it. Country roads, take me home to internet that fucking works.
I belong.
Taking me home. Hi.
New Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah, really.
That would be my version.
Oh my god.
Did you see that video I tagged you in? You completely ignored it when I sent it to you, and I was like, oh, how dare she?
Oh no, I saw. I'm sorry, I didn't reply. Very cute.
Or like they don't know which road to take on the country or the on the cars or trucks lane. So funny. I was like, that was you trying who has never been to New Jersey trying to guide me home on the New Jersey Turnpike.
I'm like, I don't know. Well, you gave me the GPS for a reason, and then you said, "Fuck you! I'm not following that GPS."
Fuck the GPS. I'll just use my intuition. And I got us to White Castle. I got us to go get pizza. I got us to see the Addams family house. Granted, we did hop a curb and almost take out a crossing guard, but we did it.
That's a good segue back into our conversation too.
Here we go. Did we take a break before this segment, or did we just like stop talking?
No, we took a break.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Put the sign down, Carol.
Carol.
Coral.
Oh my god. I don't know where we left off.
I don't know.
Falling asleep.
Look how much coffee I've had this morning, and I've had nothing to eat yet, so I'm just hyped up and ready to go.
Dang.
We left off on day 1 in the studio. So
okay, so yeah, we said we had to get there, pretty early, 10 o'clock. I'm gonna let you pick up because you got the energy today.
God, now you're putting me on the spot.
We got there, we met Mike,
Yeah.
he let us in, and then we made ourselves very comfy. The studio was cool. It had like nice low lights.
Well, can I ask you what your first impression of was just like I can't
Like like the row of buildings that we were trying to find where Plaid Dog was, because there's no sign on the building.
It was a completely unmarked building, first of all. The entrance to get into the studio was like up a hill.
It was straight up to heaven. It was knocking on heaven's door.
Concrete hill. And I'm like, oh God, if Avi opens his trunk, because it had my guitar in it,
Everything was gonna fall out.
had all our equipment in it. I was like, if you open that trunk door, everything's just gonna go
Yeah.
down the hill, down the concrete hill. Not good. So we parked, little off to the side.
He learned the second time. Avi made a good decision and parked not on the hill.
Yeah,
But were you worried at all? I wasn't like thinking anything like sketchy or anything was going to go down when we pulled up, but I guess part of me should have been. I figured we had Avi with us. We were fine.
Oh no, that wasn't my worry at all. Like most recording studios are in like unmarked buildings and sketchy like that. Most rehearsal studios, I've been to some sketch ass places to record and to rehearse. So that wasn't my fear at all. I was just like, where is this place? Because it was like there was no like all the numbers on it was like not industrial, but like factory kind of
work buildings. Yeah.
So I was like, this is gonna be interesting finding this place. And there's no sign that says Plaid Dog Recording. It's just an unmarked building. So I
found it though. It had a tiny little mailbox with a tiny little sticker on it.
Yeah. Which I mean, I guess is a good thing because, like, recording studio has all that beautiful equipment in it. I'm sure they don't want to call attention to, what they got.
So right.
All the good they got inside.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what was your very first impression? Because you've never set foot inside a recording studio at all, ever?
No, never. And I'm surprised you
your-
couldn't guess what my reaction was because I said it out loud when we were sitting in his head control booth.
Cockpit.
I was like, buttons and knobs and switches. I wanted to touch.
Christina wanted to turn them all like a little. Yeah.
It was impressive. I was like, this is beautiful. The actual recording room with the drums and where we were in the booth, so big and beautiful. And I was like, wow, And it felt very comfy and like cozy because they were using those incandescent lights. No, what the low lights are they called?
Yeah, he had like these Edison bulbs in like bottles. Like it was just
Like little twinkle lights. But
very
you and I came in like
cozy.
with our coffees, with our guitar. We were ready to go.
Wait, no, we didn't have our coffees because Avi had to leave to get the coffees.
That's right. That's
And
right.
he was in line for like a freaking hour because of the stupid stickers, which we talked about
The,
previously.
the stickers were doing their job. The other people were doing their job.
The stickers were sticking.
The stickers were sticking. We got comfy. Mike kind of was fiddling with stuff, laying things out to get ready. He was tuning up the drums because their drummer was coming in first, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So the cool thing was he started setting up on Friday, the day we got in, which we didn't have to be there on the Friday. So that's when I guess he like set up the drums and like anything that we needed to record and stuff. So by the time we got there on Saturday morning, the drummer just had to get there, bring in his sticks, his snare, whatever he had with him, and we were ready to rock. Starting off the session went pretty quickly. Like the drummer got there, he was setting up his stuff. The bassist got there. We kind of were shooting the shit a little bit with everybody, so it was kind of nice to meet the guys playing on our track. So shout out to Steve and Colin, drums and bass.
Yeah, dude, they're so talented.
Very, very.
Yeah,
talented.
Mike was Steve got there, the drummer, and started like fiddling around, drumming around a little bit. Mike got all his levels, and they're like, "All right, here we go." We started playing to it. There were maybe like one or two little changes, and then Avi had a suggestion for an addition at the end of the song, but that was it. It was like boom.
Yeah. We still don't know his. Do you know? Did he ever say his last name, or he's just
No.
Steve from? He's just Steve from LinkedIn. LinkedIn.
Steve from LinkedIn.
Yeah, we're like, do you guys have any social media, like, wanting to connect with the guys playing on our record? We're trying to, follow him, shout him out on Instagram, blow him up on there. He's just like, no, you can only find me on LinkedIn. I don't know anybody that uses LinkedIn anymore. Like besides like
Steve does.
Steve does, but I still don't know I don't know his last name. Do you know his last name?
No. We'll ask Mike.
We'll ask Mike. Yeah.
Big thanks to Steve if you're listening. So do you want to tell them what Avi added and his inspiration?
So we have this thing in the bridge when like the music kind of like quiets down and it's just kind of like us singing with the acoustic guitar and the bass a little bit. So we have like something called acrostic there, which we learned in pre-production. Mike told us it was acrostic, right? When like I guess they kind of hit the sticks on the side of the rim or something. And then Avi suggested, I don't even remember what he said.
At the end, he was like, because it kind of gets thrown in toward the end of the song, like, hey, like let's do like a little, I don't know if he called it a rim shot.
Yeah.
But he's like how the Offspring throw in like a little clickety clack, like they hit the metal part of the drums.
Yeah.
And Steve did a little bit of that hippity hop at the end, and I'm like, oh my God, that sounds awesome. Love the Offspring. Good suggestion.
It does sound pretty sick. Yeah.
It's like hopping down the street.
Yeah. It's got that song has so much like pep in the step. It's a bop.
It's a bop. It's so catchy.
Colin was cool. He was cool.
Yeah.
Big dude.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing. So hey, Colin. But he was setting up in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Well, Steve was still doing his thing, and he actually like played. They played in tandem at one point, right?
Yeah, I guess maybe Colin was trying to get the feel of the song or whatever, while Steve was finishing laying down his tracks. But then, like, I don't know. Yeah, were they playing at the same time? I don't even remember. It was like such a blur. Like everything went by so fast. I was just trying to take in like every moment, and it was just so fascinating watching them like bring this song, our crappy little acoustic demo to life.
I don't know how Mike does it with people watching over his shoulder, and he just does it so fast.
Because he's like, he does it every single day. Like it's second nature at this point. He's on autopilot. But I was gonna say it was so much fun, and it was so funny to watch Mike every time. Like he would like put the song on, and he's like bopping to it.
Every time he was bopping around to it,
dancing to it. It was so funny to watch. So.
Even at the end of day 2, he was still going. I was like, "You're not sick of this song yet?" Even though he would be such a humble person, and if I asked, "Has there ever been a song you were just so freaking tired of listening to?" he would not or admit that there was. But I feel like our song might have been. But he just kept bopping around to it because it's so goddamn catchy.
He said his daughter loved it.
Yeah, it's cute.
A little girl, right? And he said he went home and played her, and this was before like we put any of like the harmonies or any of the additional like stuff on it. So the first night, I guess, with the rough scratch demo, he took that home and let her listen to it, and she's like, I want to listen to it again, I want to listen to it again. And he's like, all right, well, let's not listen to it too much, I gotta listen to this a whole lot more tomorrow. So he's like,
So cute.
let's put it away.
Aw. And Colin only did like a couple of run throughs, and then he finally got it. And then he pulled us a little wild card at the end and added this like I don't know if Mike suggested, hey, maybe go a little higher with the bass. And he did it, and it's so perfect.
I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of that song.
Yeah,
That little
yeah,
bass line at the end. Doo, 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 doo. That little walkie line. That's so cool.
Yeah. And then so you and I think they were wrapping up. You and I were sitting on the couch talking. Because he was like, I guess just let me know what you want to do with vocals and like who's taking what and whatever. So you and I sat down and we're looking at the paper and dealing out who was going to sing what.
Oh,
And
we weren't even supposed to record vocals that day.
right.
No.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, it was supposed to be a Sunday thing. And that's what I was getting at. Was like, we were looking it over. And of course, I'm nervous. And you're trying to like just reassure me, like, it's fine, whatever. And I was like, I'm feeling kind of like phlegmy today because I was still kind of getting over my sickness. That sickness.
Yeah,
and you're like, you straight up said, that's a tomorrow problem. And then about 15 minutes later, Mike was like, well, do you want to lay down the vocals? And I was like, God damn.
And then it was a today problem.
It became a today problem, and we jumped right in.
Well, I want to ask you what your feelings were in that moment when he was like, all right, we're going to do vocals today. Like what? Because you never recorded before ever.
Panic. Because I knew like my throat was kind of like that.
Aww.
And I didn't want to disappoint you, but I knew you were going to be fine about it. I didn't know you could go line by line.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were going to be singing together. I didn't know if we were going to try to harmonize together. Like, no idea what to expect. And
that's what I was trying to explain to you back when, like, before I even worked on the harmonies on the song.
Yeah.
And you were like kind of panicking. You're like, send me those harmonies, girl. Can you send me those harmonies? And in the back of my mind, like, you know, not really maybe not taking into consideration that you had never been in a studio, you never worked on you never done vocals, you don't know the whole process. Not really like putting two and two together, like maybe she doesn't realize that we're not going to be singing together. We can have as many takes with any of these lines as we
no. No.
It's fine. You're going to be fine. And you were so funny. Like before he like told us to go in the booth, or to you to go in the booth, you were like, can she come with me? Like a doctor's appointment.
I need my mom to come with me.
Can you come with me like a doctor's?
Yeah. I'm glad you did. I'm glad I got to sit there and kind of feel it because you went first. I was still very nervous because first of all, like I'm used to this recording setup, I guess, where the mic is kind of diagonally down from my face, whereas singing, the mic is way up here. That is uncomfortable for me to do that way.
Well, it forces you to stand up straighter, to straighten your posture, and that's going to get you a better vocal take on off because, you know, your diaphragm, that's like kind of like stretched out now. So now you have the room and space to get those full breaths so you can get those notes out.
Yeah.
So that's
my brain was on overload with like trying to remember what you said and trying to just be confident in singing what I was singing. Like nobody listens to me fucking sing, and now I have to have it recorded and sung in front of two men that I never sang in front of before. You know, it was a lot, but I got to listen to you. We'll go back to you. I was just so blown away. I was like, you're so consistent every time. And like Mike had some suggestions on different things. He actually wanted you to do an octave higher at the end, and you were like, nah. And we didn't end up doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that just comes with years and years of recording and experience and being in and out of studios, in and out of bands, and like even like live performances has helped me hone my craft in the studio, you know? So it's just a culmination of all of that. As I was saying, I feel so in my element in a studio setting or making any kind of music with any other musicians, or I just love that whole environment, and I love the creative process. And one of my like guilty pleasures is like going on YouTube and watching anybody, even if I don't like their music, I like watching anybody in a studio working their magic, doing their thing. I love seeing how a song or an album comes together. It's like I live for it. It just gets me so excited. But I have to give you so much credit because you had never walked into a setting like that and you stepped up to the mic. Like, I know you were nervous I knew you were nervous. I could tell.
Remember how clammy my hands were? I was like, feel my
Okay,
hands.
your hands were so clammy. Not only that, you had Avi's brain stress ball and you were squeezing it so hard. You were squeezing the shit out of it the entire time. And I was like, this poor girl.
This fucking bitch.
This poor girl. I wish I could take some of your nerves away because I could tell how nervous you were, but you gave it your all. And I'm so fucking proud of you. I'm
you.
so proud of you. You did
The
great.
first one is always the hardest. The first cut is the deepest, as they say.
It is. But like now, like you kind of know the process. I feel like you'll be a
Yeah.
little more relaxed on the next go round if
Yeah.
when we record these other 4 songs.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you were definitely in your element and you were like just killing it the whole time, man. You know, when I started singing, you were standing in front of me, like trying to remind me to breathe. And like half of the time I had my eyes closed, like trying to just like listen
Yeah.
and be on click, I guess.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a lot to take in. It was a good experience. Mike was very gentle with, he's like, let's go again.
Yeah.
All right, do another one. Like, okay,
Yeah.
just as many as you need to link this all together, Mike.
Yeah. And like again, giving you so much credit because not only do you have to worry about, you know, being on pitch, well, like Mike was fixing the both of us like on like the pitch. We have so many amazing things at our disposal today as far as like making us sound a little more polished than we would in a live set than we would in the live setting.
Yeah.
I give you so much credit for having to have all of these things kind of like in the back of your mind, being aware of the click and staying on the beat. And singing to a click is hard for like even me, somebody who's been doing it for years. Like it's tricky to stay on that all the time. I mean, we're human, we're not robots. Like we can't always be on the grid, you know? So it is a tricky thing to have flying at you, especially when you've never been in that setting before, to kind of try to be conscious of all these little things that are just being thrown your way. And you did it like no problem. Like you were such a champ.
Thanks for being in the room with me, Mom. I was like, you know, I was reminding myself like all the music we were listening to on the way there or during the week before. I was like, all of these people I'm listening to, whether they're good musicians or like their voices are bananas. I was like, they've all been in a studio to record what I'm hearing. Like, it's not crazy. You know, if so-and-so can do it, you can fucking do it. You know, it's just all about fake it till you make it. But now I'm glad that I have it under at least an idea of what to expect next time.
You can officially call yourself a recording artist. You are a recording artist.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Welcome to this crazy madness world.
How many times in the studio would that have been for you?
For what? To
record a music? How many times in the studio would you say you've been in?
I can't even count. I've had little side projects. And again, like a lot of the recording I've done have been in some shady people's basements or people's sheds or garages. Like it has not all been glamorous. Like I will be honest, this Plaid Dog experience has probably been one of the more glamorous experiences that I've had in a recording studio. And you are so lucky that this was your first one because now your standards are so high.
I know. Like I said, Mike was very gentle.
And you're never gonna want to go back to that shady person's garage to record. Although, like, people, we have so much portable technology at our disposal nowadays. You can literally record in a fucking porter potty if you wanted to. Like you can record anywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in a like gorgeous studio. Like it'd be nice to do that all the time, but like not everybody has that budget or has access to that. And like you can make just as much magic in a home studio.
Yeah.
So but I have recorded in some pretty shady places. The second EP that I came out with, my last one standing EP, that was actually in a studio.
Nice.
But it was a converted VFW.
Oh, weird.
So like it was called Pigeon Club Studios. I don't think it's there anymore. I think it got like rained out in a flood. Okay. So this was in Hoboken, New Jersey, right? It flooded like crazy. And I remember one day it rained so hard that my producer was like taking like paint buckets and shoveling rain out of the entryway. So eventually they lost that studio in a flood, I believe, or they closed it down due to like all the constant flooding.
That
I think
sucks.
one of the main floods in New Jersey, like Hurricane, I don't remember, was it Irene or I don't remember which one it was. But the front of that studio was a VFW. So there would be like old guys kind of hanging out in the
So
front.
fucking weird.
And I would have to walk through that to get to the main studio
You were
portion.
the best part of their day.
But the main studio portion was beautiful. It had a big live room, it had a vocal booth, it had a control room. Like, it was just as much of a studio experience as the Plaid Dog experience was.
That's
Like,
awesome.
it felt like an actual studio.
Yeah.
I think
It
that
was
was like,
big. Could not have asked for a better weekend. All around. All around, but especially with Plaid Dog.
yeah, it was great. It was so cool. And I'm just like glad for you that that was your first recording experience.
Me too. I'm glad we were doing it together. I would not do that by myself. Do you remember what I said to you when it was my turn and he was getting me like all set up? Do you remember what I said? I was like, do you think he could turn the lights off? And you were like, do you want him to turn the lights off? He was like, you said, do you want to sing in the dark? I was like, it's
Yeah.
fine. No, it's fine. But
Whatever works, whatever helps.
I'll be stress brain.
Yeah, the literal ball in your hand, just
Mhm.
squishing the shit out of that. I'm like, this girl is so nervous. But it seemed like by the end of it, like you were loosening up a little bit, you were having fun with it, and it is what it is.
It is what it is. I was
we
like, he
only-
can fix this
We
later.
only had 2 days to pull that shit together, but I think we did a really good job. So pat ourselves on the back for that shit.
No,
Yeah.
we did. He sent us that rough pretty quickly that evening, right? Actually,
Yeah.
just right before we left, he was like, okay, it's in your Dropbox.
Yeah.
I know I said this to you and Avi on our way home, but like by the end, I was trying to remind myself to like smile. This is fun. Like it's so fun, but I was in my head so heavily. And I was just trying to like think about the lyrics that we wrote and how fucking funny that they are. Like dancing naked in the street. You can tell even in audio recordings when people are smiling when they're singing or talking. So
Yeah.
I was like, I hope that comes across because I was just like, just fucking have fun with it and smile. Justina's
But-
not ripping your head off. Like you were behind me. You were like, that was really good. I was like, no, it wasn't.
All right. Yeah, I could go either way. Because Avi, well, maybe it's just because me and Avi, well, Pisces and Sagittarius, we could be like a hurricane together, right? So, and I also think it's just because me and him have worked together on so many musical projects and we live together, we're married, like we have the whole relationship on top of all the music stuff. So if we don't agree on something, things can get pretty heated, right?
Yeah.
He's like he's the person that knows me the most, I'm the person that knows him the most. So
Yeah.
like we have no boundaries, we have no chill. So
At least you know how to argue with each other,
No,
and still be together.
yeah. I mean, sometimes we have to walk away from the creative stuff because like it gets to be too much. Because if we have a disagreement and we're not coming to an agreement, then I'm like, I'm gonna walk away before this turns ugly. I don't remember what I was getting at. I don't
Yeah.
remember what I
You
was
said
getting
you can go either way. I will say you even
Oh.
had that conversation before the trip even happened because like
Yes,
we were
that's-
both nervous. Is that what you were getting at?
That's what I was gonna say. Avi had to have a talk with me before our trip, and he's like, "Listen, you have to go into this with just remember, Christina's never done this before. Don't make this a shitty first experience for her." And he was right. And I was like, "No, you're right. I'm being too in my head about it too, because like I did have a lot of reservations, and me and you've had this conversation before we even stepped into the studio.
Yeah.
Just being very transparent, like I did have a little bit of a reservation. I didn't know how you were going to do in the studio. We've never worked with Mike before. I didn't know what
We never even sang together.
I didn't know what his working style was like. So going into this completely blind for like somebody who's like such a control freak like I am, I was shitting a brick.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what to expect. So I was a little in my head. Avi had to like bring me back down to like reality.
What an angel.
We argue about the music stuff when it's our stuff, but like he was looking outside from an outside, like from a, what's the word, objective perspective.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was easier for him to kind of like see it from the outside and kind of coach me from that aspect. And
Bless. That's awesome. Thank you, Avi.
completely right.
Yeah.
And once he had that talk with me, I was like, he's right. It is what it is. We're both jumping into this blindly. We both don't know just as much as the other of like
Mhm.
what to expect,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Like we just didn't know. And what I was saying for the conversation you and I had before was like, because you said sometimes you just got to walk away. I was like, Justina, if this stops being fun, if we get into a disagreement or like I'm not reaching that potential that you think I can reach, we need to go outside and we need to like bring it back, scale it back, take a break. But we didn't have to do that at all.
No, it was completely fun. We kept it fun, and we just remembered that's why we started this, because it's fun, right? We don't want this to become that kind of thing,
We were
that
so hopped up on iced coffee too
and
all weekend.
iced coffee and like zero sleep.
Yeah.
And oh my
Junk,
God.
nasty junk foods.
We'll get to the end of day 2 because by that point, I think we both needed toothpicks to hold our eyes open when Kayla started.
Oh my God.
Poor Kayla had to deal
Yeah.
with us by the end of
Yeah.
day.
You know what we missed the first talking about day 0? Were the
what?
bagels.
The bagels. What
We
about
got the bagels on the way. Well, I got the bagel on the way in Jersey to, what are those called? Pork roll?
Yeah,
Sandwich?
pork. Well, depending on where you are in Jersey, some people call it pork roll, some people call it Taylor ham. And depending on what you call it, any Jerseyan will know what
Where
part
you're
of
from? Yeah.
what part of Jersey you're from. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we touch on all the food. We-
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so you've had the White Castle, you've had the pizza, you've had my mom's artichokes and the shrimp scampi, and now you're having the pork roll. What were your
And
thoughts?
I got to have the espresso your parents make.
That's right.
And they had your Avi brought not cobbler. What did he bring?
Oh, he brought a pumpkin Danish from
Danish for
Costa.
Whew, man, I needed to detox. So yeah, then we got the pork roll,
Mhm.
and then that's all we had that day until dinner.
I think you're right. What did we have for dinner that day? On the Friday?
On that Friday, we went to I got the poke bowl, and you got
Oh,
the pasta.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how we're pinning the days down. So, okay, so I wish I could just do it all over again. I just wish I could just do it all over again. I don't know.
We may very well have a second experience recording 4 more songs there, so we will
Yeah.
get to do it all over again.
So that was end of day 1. What did we do right after?
Did we
We-
go right back to the hotel?
We did because we had to record.
That's right. Yeah, we had a whole we recorded the Exorcisms, Hauntings, and Ex-Boyfriends episode.
Oh my
which
God.
was a shit show.
Yeah, dude. So well, you took maybe you were tired.
Oh.
You laid down on the couch because we got finished like 4:30, something like
Oh,
that. So it's
well-
still early, but you were tired. I was like, we have to fucking do this.
I really wanted to take a nap.
I wish you did take a nap, but I think our episode was really fucking funny.
I couldn't take a nap because by the time we got back to the hotel, I was so like high on our song and hearing how it was coming together. I
Yeah.
think we must have listened to it like a million times from the studio to back to the hotel, which wasn't a long drive, by the way. But once we got back to the hotel, we just sat on the couch and listened to it like a bunch of times. I think I started closing my eyes and we're like, don't do it, wake up, let's record, let's do it.
And we
So-
were gonna record on the couch, and I'm glad we didn't the first night because I think we would have been too comfy and fallen asleep. So we sat up in the little kitchenette, the kitchen counter, and we were like stringing the blanket from the ceiling to try to keep the noise down. And we turned off the AC, and they're still banging around. Oh, the ice maker.
Oh my God. Was that the first night where Avi was like, what the fuck was that?
A brick wall falling in. Yep.
You're like, "No, I'm just getting some ice." I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And then Javi was just hanging out in the background and
Yeah.
chiming in, and then he became part of our show.
Yeah, we roped my husband into the whole episode, and which is funny considering the content, because remember when we were talking about the passerbyers in the exorcisms, and he was like, "That's always been my fear." Like he's been to a million.
I try to stay away from the exorcisms.
I'm like, how many exorcisms have you been to? What, do I not know something about my husband? What the fuck?
It's like a common thing for him. And then,
That was
oh,
so
like, don't tempt me with a good time.
that
my God.
entire episode, okay, we are sorry it's a 5 hour. It's like right now, it's still in editing. It's a 5 hour episode. I'm trying to get it down to shorter than that, but I don't know if I can because there's just so many like good
Who
moments
cares?
in that entire episode.
Yeah,
We hope
it's
you
a
guys
Halloween special.
enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy that beast of an episode.
It's a Halloween miracle. Was that the night we got pizza? Pizza.
I think that was night 2. I think it was night 2.
You should have brought your everything
Oh, wait.
bagel seasoning.
No, I think you're right. Maybe it was the pizza night.
I think it was the pizza night. Because
Yeah.
then we got the burro, the painted burro.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
following
yeah.
night.
Uh,
Christine,
and
do you
then-
ever have everything bagel seasoning? No. What do you put it on? I don't know. Pizza.
Pizza.
No, not
Throwing it
pizza.
back. Throwing it back. Was that like episode 1 or 2 or something?
Yeah.
God. Pizza. I don't know why I said that. Oh, and then those shitty ass margaritas that we were mixing with that seltzer soda. So
Yeah. Oh my
tastes
God.
like cough syrup.
It was like a infuse your own margarita mix. You just added
Yeah.
tequila to it. I think you were right. We should have used the clear tequila, but you let it ferment. No, you let it steep for 5 hours or something like that. It was not good. So I was like, maybe if I'll add the seltzer water to it, it'll give it a little bubbly, like extra
Yeah.
texture. It did not do that, but it did the trick.
It just tasted like seltzer with cough syrup.
It was so syrupy, but you know what? Avi was drinking it too by the end.
He was.
Yeah.
Did you guys get drunk off of that at all?
I was a little
Were
cross-eyed.
you? All right. I don't think I was drinking it hard enough to feel anything. My drinks were getting watered down before I could drink them too fast because like I just couldn't drink it. I was like, this is so
It was gross.
blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah. I think I changed over to I don't know, did Avi have a pumpkin beer there? I don't remember if I had a pumpkin beer or not, but I was like, no, I can't drink that for that much longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. Did we start with pumpkin beer? Was that the night I went down to the front desk and got myself a heaping armload of shit?
Oh my God. Okay, so Christina is a kleptomaniac. Can we just put that out there right now?
I didn't know you had to pay for them.
Christina went down to the hotel store. Like, you know how sometimes hotels have like a little store
It
section
was
on-
like a little nook with
Yeah, that's
things
usually-
in it.
usually what it is, but you've got to pay for those things. Christina walks up with an armful of like beefaroni and Kraft mac and cheese and like I don't know what
Yeah,
else.
like Doritos. You know why? You know what? Because I paid $16 or some shit for 2 beers from the restaurant. I was like, that's bullshit. Yeah, I walked up with a lot of snackies. And you had, I was like, oh, just because I Marcoed you from downstairs. I was like, they have pasta down here, like if we want to make pasta, but we brought our own. And I
Yeah.
guess you Marcoed me back at some point because I was like, look at all this, look at all this stuff they have.
Look at all this free stuff. I'm like, that's not free, Christina. And she already, by the time she even got my Marco, she was already up in the hotel room with an armful of stuff. And then you were like, horse thief. What is that from?
Avi and I were watching TMC Turner Classic Movie Channel, and like it was a black and white movie where they all talk really fast, and the guy kept calling his friend a horse thief. So.
I must have been in the bathroom doing my makeup because I heard you guys watching that shit and I was like, what are they watching? And then after that you guys kept throwing around horse thief and I'm like, what is this? What's that from?
You old horse thief.
Horse thief. So yeah. So
Oh man. I really enjoyed. Was that the night we were talking about the spooky like shadow people? Or was that the second night?
I think that was no, that was the first night because remember we ended that episode with we were telling the stories from our patrons.
Yeah.
His whole story was about the shadow people, and like we're trying to go to bed right after recording that segment, and Christina's off in well, you had the whole like living room area to yourself, and then me and Avi had the master bedroom, so we were kind of closed off, but you were out there all by yourself in the dark, and right before I closed my bedroom door, I like shout out to Christina. I was like, "Don't let the shadow people get you." She's like, "Fuck you!" I just
Avi was telling a story about how he paranormal activity you one time, or like standing in the corner. You guys, you'll hear this story. Please go listen to that episode when it comes out. And I was like, he's gonna be standing over me in the middle of the night. I know it. And there was a lamp right by the couch that was taller than everything else. Yeah. And I had to like say out loud, because I was afraid I was going to wake up in the middle of the night and think that was a person. I was like, it's a lamp, it's a lamp, it's a lamp. Like, because I knew I was going to roll over and crack my eyes open and just see the silhouette of this fucking humanoid thing.
My God. Yeah.
And then I think, did the ice maker go off again that night? I don't know.
Yeah, it was friggin' loud. But I always fall asleep with my ear pods in because I don't want to hear any silence. I don't want to hear a pin drop. If I hear any little, I'm gonna be like, "What the hell?" And I won't be able.
That's why I ran downstairs to go to the bathroom because I didn't want to freak you out with a creaky ass door.
And you know why I was so fucking hot? Remember, every night I kept waking up and trying to put the thermostat down to like 68 because I was sweating my dick off. Because I'll tell you exactly why. I'll tell you why, okay? Because I went to bed in a full hoodie, full socks, under all the blankets because I was like, I don't want any shadow people touching me. I was scared someone was going to touch me and I wasn't going to be able to go.
You did it to yourself.
And so I woke up sweating my ass off, and I was just like, can we make it as cold as possible in this room? Because I need to keep all these layers on because I don't want to be touched by a shadow
Yeah.
person.
Yep.
That was my logic. That was my logic.
And then Sunday night, I commandeered an extra blanket from the hallway, like rolly cart. And I was like, pump that shit down as low as you want. I'm good. I got an extra blanket. And you said you were still hot because you fucking bundled your ass up.
Yeah, because I kept thinking about the fucking shadow people touching me.
Yeah, we'll get to Sunday because didn't finish recording that first night. It took
Right.
2 days to record that episode.
5-hour episode. I don't know how we talked that long. And on top of that, okay, so we recorded that episode for probably like more than 5 hours because I edited down to 5 hours. So we
Right.
talked more than 5 hours. But talking that much and then having to get up early to go into the studio to record more vocals for another 2-3 hours. We were at those harmonies for a while.
You did a really good job.
We talked for like fucking 7 hours straight. We had to have.
Mhm.
And then had to get up early to do vocals in the studio.
Because we were up till midnight, I think, or so on Saturday.
Yeah, recording.
What were we thinking?
I don't know.
And after that pizza, I was like, I'm not about this road life. I'm not a handle a fucking pizza.
Christina's like saying that she ain't about the road life while she's shoving pizza and cheesy bread and wings into her
Oh,
freaking face.
so good. But do you remember what I brought?
What you brought?
I broke out the Tums at the end of the night.
I said, what you brought? Yeah, Christina. So we all had like, okay, we had all the pizza, all the carbs. I think I carb loaded that entire fucking weekend just to keep my like energy levels up.
Yeah. Yep.
So Christina, at the end of the night, I'm like, we should probably because I forgot I was gonna bring the Tums because I have a whole like bucket of Tums at home because we're all old asses now.
A bucket.
So we need that shit to get through a trip. So Christina's like, I have a couple Tums here. She empties her friggin' dusty ass wallet, and these Tums aren't even in full tablets. They are
I
like
had to break them up.
they're like fragments of like crusted ass Tums. Pours them out on the counter like she's ready to crush them up and snort them. I'm like, what is this?
It's a hot commodity.
Whatever. I took whatever fragments you had and I ate them. I was like, oh, it's better than nothing.
All that, and we were worried that housekeeping was going to come in the next day because I did not bother cleaning up all that dusty sugar, all that dusty. What is it called? What is that stuff anyway?
What is oh,
It's shit you get from milk.
not Epicac. What the fuck is it called? Calcium?
Yeah. And you know what? Who gives a fuck? Because housekeeping didn't come anyway, but there was
Housekeeping
all
didn't
this
do
dust,
shit.
all this Tums dust all over the counter.
Yeah. So Christina requested housekeeping when we checked in, right?
Yeah.
We checked in. They said, "Do you want housekeeping?" Christina was like, I wasn't even there when they asked you that question, but you said to me because I was in the bathroom when I came out, you were like, yeah, I just told them housekeeping because it's 3 of us over like 4 days. And I was like, that's fine. So, but then they never came. Never came.
And you know what? You and I talked about the towels in the last before the break. But okay, even if we had kept our towels, like we had to take our own trash out. Like I put the trash outside the door because it was overflowing. And then I didn't have an extra bag to put in there. And we were on our last roll of toilet paper.
And paper towel.
And towels. We used all the paper towels. So I just started using the hand towels.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Everything else besides the housekeeping in that hotel, I had no complaints other than that.
Right.
So, I mean, even the girl at the front desk was very nice when we went. Remember, we went down and asked for some mint tea, and she was like, gave us like the whole fucking box of mint tea.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. And yeah, the housekeeping, only complaint. And Christina was like, I'm gonna get these damn towels. She like called them like 5 times. Then finally you left the room and went down to the front desk and got those damn towels. You got your towel. You made sure to get those towels.
I think we were walking back from somewhere and we passed one of those little trolley carts that they put at the end of the hallway. And I was like, I'm coming back to get towels. We went to the room first. I was like, maybe they've come. Maybe they've given us towels. They did not. I was like, I'm getting as many fucking towels as I fucking want.
Bastards.
Actually, they did. They did bring us towels. Because remember, didn't Avi bring them up? He was like, well, we're good on shower towels at least.
I don't remember.
I think they brought some up, but I was disappointed.
Yeah, a little disappointed in the in the lack of housekeeping there.
Not that we were like dirty, not that we
Right.
were like leaving stuff all over the place, but it would have been nice to have more toilet paper.
But at least, like, the bare essentials: toilet paper, paper towel, and
Trash
body towel.
bag. Yeah.
And trash bags. That's all we need. All we need. So that was day one. Was there anything else we wanted to? There was so much that happened. Like, I can't recall every single little moment, but we
No.
do have a lot of video footage for you guys that we took, and we're gonna try to piece that together for the Patreon if you guys want to
Oof.
see some of our adventures.
Yes. I want to see it. I was just trying to relive it in my brain. I was like, how
Yeah.
can we share this? There were so many good little check-ins, and day one was a blur, and I was already tired, and we still had another day, 2 days
Yeah.
together. Great.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right,
Hey.
let's get to Sunday.
Oh
So we
my
get
God.
up. What did we do? We went down for breakfast. Yeah,
Oh
we
no.
went down.
Did we go to we went to Dunkin' Donuts the second day.
Yeah, yeah, because you
Yeah.
introduced me to the little bagel, the little bites, whatever those were,
And
with the cream cheese.
also, because me and Avi have this, like, unspoken war, that he's a Starbucks person, I'm a Dunkin' Donuts person. I love my butter pecan cold brew with almond milk.
Yeah.
Favorite. Their butter pecan syrup, the best. I love it. I choose it over a pumpkin spice any day.
Yeah.
I said it. I said what I said, Avi.
Said what I
If
said.
you're listening, I said what I said. My husband is the most basic of the basic bitches. So the second day, after the first day, we had that whole debacle with the Starbucks not getting their stickers in order
Poor
and
Ollie.
him being away for like a freaking hour. I
Mhm.
was like, Dunkin' Donuts is so much faster. Let's just go to Dunkin' Donuts. And look, we were in and out of there in like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Cold brews, got our
Mhm.
little bagel bites, we had hash browns.
Mhm.
We had a big old breakfast sandwich.
But they left out his muffin.
They did leave at us, but they gave him extra bacon bits, which he
They
left at the
did.
studio.
No.
He didn't even get to enjoy them because he left those at the studio. So they made up for, they made up for it. So we got our breakfast. We were on our merry way. We get to the studio. Our call time was 10 a.m. once again. And then this day was when we were to do all of the harmonies that you hear on the track.
Mhm.
And that is probably the most tedious part
But
because
you had it all laid out already.
I had it
And
all laid out.
you went in order. It was very organized. You were like boom, boom, boom. That day, Mike pulled in the same time we did, and he brought his
Right.
puppy dog. He brought Plaid Dog that day.
Was his name Hattie? Her name?
I think it's Hattie. Yeah, very vocal. Very vocal
So
dog.
cute. Oh, she's adorable. And her howls, she was a very vocal dog. And her tail was so strong, it was like whipping my leg. I was like, ah, my God, the
When
tail.
she was in there, when he was working, perfect. She just
Yeah.
laid there the whole time, which I was like, does she not go to the bathroom? Does she not go to outside? Maybe he took her out when I wasn't watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was in there the whole time.
And little Plaid Dog. That's, I guess,
Yeah.
the studio was named after her, right?
Yeah.
Plaid Dog Recording.
Yeah, the harmonies, you popped in the booth, and I didn't know if you wanted me to do anything, so I was sitting in there with you, but I feel like I was probably more in the way. But I was just trying to get video of you as well.
No,
But
you weren't in the way. Moral
yeah.
support. It's you. You were coming along for my doctor's appointment.
Your doctor's appointment. Yeah. The next, whatever other songs we do, I can definitely do like the low la la las.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
definitely do those.
yeah.
And
I
you
didn't
were
want to completely overwhelm you for your first experience,
right.
So I felt like you were comfortable with what you did day one,
Yeah.
and day two was like so tedious. It's just like standing there, and I had my heels on that day because we were supposed to do the video shoot, so I was all dressed to the nines. So I usually don't record in heels like that, but I did feel like a diva for the day because I had my heels on.
You look good.
In the booth. So yeah, it was just it's a very tedious process, but I tried to make it as easy as a job for Mike as possible because I know how tedious harmonies can be. And figuring out the harmonies on the spot in the studio is probably it's so time consuming. We would have been there all day doing
We were ahead of schedule.
and we still took like a good 3-4 hours doing the harmonies, and we were organized with it,
Yeah, I can't imagine how other people work because I thought you were perfect. And he had really good suggestions because you were saying like some of the stuff wasn't exactly where you wanted it. And he was like, I would not have been able to do that. And second of all, you had to come in at a certain point that isn't a natural melody point. Like you were putting in like the layers and stuff, and I don't know if my ear could have come in at the right time.
And that just goes, again, so much experience in and out of studios working with different producers and just like singing for so many years, just like knowing how to
try to adapt quickly to any of those kinds of situations where a producer is like, no, sing it different, sing it like this instead. And I wasn't necessarily married to all of the stuff, like I was telling you. I
Mhm.
wasn't married to all of the harmonies. Like I kind of put them there as a guide and as a starting point, but I was open to anything Mike was throwing my way. And any suggestion that he had for me to change, I love it. I love all the changes that he made, and it made it
Mhm.
sound so much better than I
Mhm.
could have made it.
The only thing that we tried and then changed. Do you want to tell them about that?
Which
The
one?
the street.
Oh, that's right. So the first day when we were laying down the main vocal, you know that part in the very first, I guess, like lead up to the second verse where we're like,
Mm-hmm.
at that house down the street, all of our listeners that hear the intro in our podcast every week hear the street, that vowel. But Mike's did suggest that I open the mouth and make it a wider a sound, like straight. And I went with it for the day, and I was like, okay, maybe it did feel better to sing it that way. But we listened to it in the car, we listened to it, we got back to the hotel, and we're like, no, it has to,
No, put it back. Put it
we
back.
gotta change that back right away. But I
Yeah.
mean, like, I did takes of both, so he was very easily able to switch it back to what we had with the
Yes.
vowel instead. So that was the only real change that, like, he suggested that we were like, nah, let's stick with the original. But other than that, all of the harmonies and stuff that he had me change up if it needed to, just like to fix some of the notes that maybe either ended with the lead vocal or like lined up with the lead vocal, because maybe I wasn't singing the harmony with it, I was singing the
Mhm.
lead instead.
But even like it was maybe one or two. Like I look at it like a fucking graph, and how you move that around. But I don't know how your mind was like, okay, you did it a couple times and you got it. I was like, that was way too many
Uh-huh.
fluctuations, I think, for my little brain to be able to do it in the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely challenging trying to keep up with all the changes he was throwing me, but I just, I wanted to make the track as good as we can and just make a good song.
Yeah.
And I was open to any changes, any feedback, anything that he had to throw our way. And I think it sounds great. I think any of the changes he had, it just made the song better, I think.
I do too.
Yeah.
And then came Daniel,
Daniel's awesome.
our little angel man, Daniel. Dude,
Okay,
go
let's
ahead.
let's talk about the slide guitar.
Well,
Chris,
he didn't do the slide right away.
right
Daniel
now.
was the guitarist and he also did the keys.
Yes.
And he apparently plays harmonica. He plays other stuff as well.
Everything, yeah. So
Yeah. I hope we
talented.
get to use them again.
Thanks.
So he came in, he sat in the cockpit and he laid down what he needed to. He got all his stuff set up and
Wait, can I just say all of his gear? Avi was geeking out so hard. Avi is such a gearhead. He was like, look at peeking over,
yeah.
looking out the pedals. He's like, so you got are you DIing into an orange? I don't remember what he said, but he said something about, are you using the orange amp? And Mike was like, or yeah, I think it was Mike. He was like, yeah. And I was like, cool.
You're like, cool.
He's just geeking out over all the gear, and I'm like, he's so cute, my
That
husband.
is so cute.
Yeah,
Loved it.
yeah.
Yeah, he was in his element too, just like watching everything and observing Mike do his thing. And he was like, holy shit, he's fast.
Yeah.
Muscle memory.
Avi
And
was
ears.
so blown away by Mike
Yeah.
and like how fast he was. Like when we were in the vocal booth, Avi said to me at a later point, when you guys were in the vocal booth, I was just watching him and I was watching him comp the vocals on the spot, tune the vocals on the spot, and like he's like a master in the control room, like
Yeah.
pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, really.
He
Buttons
is
and
the wizard.
knobs.
He is the Wizard of Oz, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
So
Yep.
Avi was just blown away by him. So I think he inspired Avi a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was fun to watch. Yeah.
So Mike had Daniel put
Mhm.
down some electric guitar licks and fill it in a little bit. And then we had sent him, or I think I told him about your song that has like these textural elements. But Mike goes, hey, Daniel, do you have your slide? Yeah, here it is.
Christina just about had an aneurysm when he brought out the slide guitar.
My soul left my body.
He was crying, literal tears. I have this on video, and we are gonna post this because her reaction to the slide guitar is just priceless.
I don't know what it just touches something inside me. It was so good. So he added those. It just makes it so much like a little eerie, a little melancholy, like a little bittersweet.
Yeah.
And then, like, we'll stick with the slide for now, but like anytime we were listening back and the slide guitar came in, I would stop whatever I was doing and I'd look at Justina like, there it is. And then I'd be like, oh,
When
we
I
had,
was
like trusses.
I
Oh,
was filming you at one point and I was laughing at you because you were crying over the slide guitar and you're just like I'm so happy. You're just
so happy. It
you
was
like
perfect.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
it made your life. It was so cute.
It
So
was very, I was so happy. And then he broke out the keyboard.
he was playing around with some like more not techno sounds, but like definitely more
Electric.
electrical what's the word synths like synthetic sounds.
Yes.
And we weren't necessarily feeling those because we want the song to sound more organic, right? And a
Hmm.
little more of like those 90s chick female singer-songwriters that you hear.
Hmm.
Kind of tried to keep it a little more, you know, on that track. So we kind of scaled back on the synthesizers a little bit. He did put some organ on, which was really, it's a nice little filler. It's kind of buried in the mix, but it's nice. It fills it out really nicely. And he also put I want to say like a Wurlitzer kind of, or no, like a Rhodes bell, like a chime or
A little
something.
chime or something.
Right.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
only thing, and I could have said something, but it's not a big deal now. The organ, you remember watching Daniel when he went brrr,
Yeah.
and that filled in that part? That kind of is like subdued now in the final cut, and I kind of liked it a little
Oh, really?
bigger, but it's
Okay.
totally fine.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad were playing it. I guess they were playing both. They had played I don't know if they played the demo one. No, it probably was the rough and then the master. And my mom was like, I definitely like the master. It's awesome. My dad was like, I like the rough one better. I was like, really? All right, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like I like the organy bits. I thought
Yeah.
those were really pretty.
Very pretty.
And then the bell, he changed it a little bit after we had gotten back from our trip. He was like, hey, I put it as what's
A
the right name?
I think a glockenspiel he used,
Yeah.
which sounded a little more. We all agree that it sounded a little too Christmassy, so
Mhm.
we changed it back to the Rhodes, which
Yeah.
is a little more subdued and kind of blends better in the mix, and it's a little more eerie and not as Christmas, not as Christmassy.
It's
So
so Christmassy.
yeah,
Exactly. Yep.
yeah, it was fun with Daniel because he was playing like Paramore licks and all what not all American Reject, Jimmy Eat World, or like he was playing random like guitar licks that we were like trying to guess what they were.
And that, well, this was before we didn't even touch on, I think he came in
Yeah.
when Avi and I were rocking out to Coheed. And I
That's
think he
right.
was like, I knew I was in good company when I heard you guys singing in here.
Oh yeah, you guys, yeah. Mike put on Coheed in between like you know us finishing the vocals and waiting for Daniel to get there.
Yeah.
So he's like he's like blasting the Coheed, and you and Avi were so funny. I was like, you guys need to be on the same side of the room so I could film you guys. You guys were having this like
Power
epic
ballad moment.
power ballad moment, and you can't not do that when Coheed
I
comes on.
know.
Like,
Yeah,
amazing.
I appreciate Avi. He's such a good sport. And like from not knowing me, I hope he felt comfortable because I felt so
Oh, yeah.
comfortable like hanging out and joking with him and being sarcastic. And
He's
you know,
so down to earth, and that's
he's
what I
very
love
down to
about him.
earth.
That's what I love about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Daniel showed us his notebook. He had his own like shorthand writing for
Uh-huh.
our song for what he was going to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, do you remember day one when when he was done tracking the drums, he left the drum charts that he charted out in the vocal booth and we
Right.
jacked those. Do you have those or did you put them in my binder?
They're in the binder.
Okay, so I have them in. All right. Maybe we'll post those up on the Patreon if you guys want to see the drum
Yes.
charts that our drummer Steve.
Yeah. Steve also did the tambourine. Can't forget that.
Right,
He was
right.
double tambourine and that shit. I was like, yes.
Double fisting.
Double fisting that reen.
Right. Supreme. Double fisting that ream. Supreme.
Daniel finished up, but he hung out for a little bit, and then Mike did his crazy special thing where he did like a real rough, put everything together for us to hear. We listened to it a few times and kind of like said, I like this, don't really like that.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was it. Yeah, it was very, very, all in all, that's probably the quickest I have ever put together a track from the very beginning of starting to record the track to getting the final master.
Mm-hmm.
The quickest turnaround time I had ever experienced in like my 20 plus years of doing music.
We got it like the finished one was probably Wednesday. I came home on Monday.
Yeah.
We got out of the studio Sunday. I came home Monday. Then I think we got it on Wednesday.
Oh wait, no. You came home Tuesday because remember Monday was Salem.
That's right. Oh shit, we're gonna get there. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
we didn't
Oh
get there
shit.
yet. Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so but we weren't done at the studio. This is still Sunday. Mike gave us what we needed, but then we had to do a quick change because we needed
Right.
to record a promotional launch video.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why like I wore my dress and my heels to the studio so then I didn't have to do the whole change. So I just kind of like did like a quick like touch up on the makeup and then I was good to go. And then you changed into your really cute witchy dress for the
Yeah.
video shoot.
Yeah. My
Af-
boobs were popping. I did not realize until I watched back the promo video. I was like, holy
even
cleavage.
did not even notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after I guess Mike gave us the rough mix of I guess the recording of everything was tracked at that point, right?
Mhm.
We were done tracking. Our job, well, his job was done at that point. But then Kayla, the video or the videographer, she showed up. Mike set up like some of the lighting and stuff and the camera before he
Avi
left.
was helping with the lighting. Avi was
Avi.
like, aim it at the wall, and then the light will bounce onto them, and it'll be nice and soft.
There you go.
Thanks, bro.
And yeah,
Look it
and
up.
then Avi's like looking in the phone because they recorded our campaign video on a phone with like a really cool, I guess like a different lens
Mhm.
attachment. So it looks like an SLR camera. Like it looks like a really cool, good camera.
High def. Yeah.
High def, yeah. So Avi's like looking in the phone screen and he's like looking how the shot is set up and he's like, "Oh yeah, that looks good. You guys look good." And I'm like,
Aw.
"Okay, awesome,
He was
awesome."
so nice.
Then I
Yeah,
trust-
that was the first thing we did, right? He had us get on like in the booth, the vocal booth. He set
Yeah.
up mics. He told us where to stand. He told it, put the headphones. Kayla, I actually think he was like ready to go home. I think he went home, and then Kayla came in and got the headphones all set up and told us that about the music playback and just say like actually sing out loud along with it.
We did that a couple times, and then after that, we went back into the control room, and she set up the lighting and the microphones for us to dun 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 dun
Her pitch.
our pitch, which this is what Sam, our project manager, had been telling us to run our lines and rehearse our lines for. And did we rehearse those lines? No, we did not.
Absolutely not. No,
Well,
but
you did a little bit.
very, very minimal. But we asked her, I was like, has anybody come into this knowing all their lines? Like, please tell us that nobody has known all their lines. She was like, no, some people come in kind of, in a direction that they've looked it over a bit. I was like, oh, we are not those people.
No, definitely not. Because like there was so much other stuff that we had to have prepared for our studio session. That was the last thing on my mind was memorizing lines. I am no actress. I will never be an actress because I don't want to fucking memorize lines.
It's so fucking funny. And we're currently downloading like the raw footage of that. So then we're going to put that on the Patreon, right? Like all the bloopers and shit.
So yeah, I did not bother to even memorize lines because that was honestly stressing me out. I was like, if I think about it, then I'm going to stress about it and you're going to be able to tell on camera. I would rather just wing it in the moment because that's just how my Sagittarius do. That's
That's
I
how she do. You think about it and then you don't think about it.
That's right. So I tried not to think about it until I had to actually do it. And it worked out. I mean, we didn't even use up the whole amount of time that we had. We had from 4 to 7, and we were
Yeah.
done by what, 5 o'clock, 6
Yeah,
o'clock,
5:15.
if that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
pretty
But
quick.
again, we would alternate. I would say a line, she would say a line, I would say a line. And just getting one sentence out, you don't have to stay to the script, right? You can go off the cuff as long as the message is the same.
Yeah.
But as soon as I looked at the paper and I took my eyes away, that sentence was gone. I had never read it in my life. I did
Yeah.
not know what I was supposed to be saying.
Same.
And you could tell poor Kayla was, and that was the thing. She knew our lines because she was looking at them. But when it was my turn to say my line, you knew it because I had already said it or tried to say it. And then when you tried to say your shit and would forget, I filled it in. It was so weird, like a weird osmosis thing.
At one point, wasn't I even like, should we just switch lines? Because we
Right?
know each other's lines.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's-
Yep.
So it was really funny. But all in all, we got that done pretty quick. Like maybe an hour or two, if that.
You know what I noticed? They didn't use any of the footage of you playing the guitar.
They didn't. You know why?
Why?
You know why? Because after I filmed that on the couch, Avi, he was like, he said something to me about, good thing they were filming your entire body, like sarcastically, because he's like, you were all over the place on the fretboard, because like the camera went on me and I just forgot all the chords and I was playing them in all the wrong way.
Oh,
Avi was like, yeah, I don't know how much of that they're gonna use, but they'll probably make it look good. And I'm just
aw.
like, I only get one take. I fucked up that entire. So that's probably why she didn't use it, because she probably could tell.
Oh man. I know. I was like, you played the whole song. I'm surprised she didn't have you just play like segments of it, like here and there that she could pop in. But the video's good. It looks nice. It's very nice. Yeah. My only thing is, I wish again I did not lip sync the whole thing, and I just did the harmony parts or the filler parts because it looks kind of funny when you know it's like one voice but two people are singing.
I mean, we know because we wrote the song, we recorded the song, we were there. But any like non-musician who listens to that shit, like they take that shit for granted. They probably think that's really us singing in real time.
Yeah. No, you dummies.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's how people think. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know better. So I don't think anybody, if they're not a musician, they probably won't even pick up on that.
Yeah.
So
Okay. But we were tired, and
well, we were so tired.
I feel like you can tell a little bit.
Just remember, because that light on us
So
was
bright.
so bright, and I was like overheating to begin with because we were running on like no sleep because we had recorded the night before until
And all
like
you had for breakfast was Dunkin' Donuts, and you didn't even eat the whole thing.
that's right. Like right before we did the video, like after our entire day in the studio doing the harmonies, doing the guitars and keyboards with Daniel, after he left, I refilled my Dunkin' Donuts cup with
cold brew from the fridge.
cold brew, that like the last drop of cold brew that Mike had in the fridge. And like I was sipping on that just to keep the stamina going until at least the end of the shoot. Oh, I think I did heat up my bagel bites at that point. That's all I had all day.
No. Yeah, it was sitting in front of the light, which is right behind the camera where you're supposed to be looking. And then also looking back down at your paper to do the notes, which the font was fucking tiny because I didn't plan on reading it from there. I thought maybe we could have Avi like hold an iPad up with our lines, but looking from the bright light to this tiny white paper with this tiny font back and forth, and my eyes were like,
But do you remember when you guys suggested to me to do it on my phone instead?
and you were like, can't do this. Nope, fuck it. I can't do this.
I tried and I was like, I looked down and I was like, I can't see that. My friggin' blind ass eyes, and looking back up at the bright ass light, I can't see this phone screen right now.
No.
Let's just leave well enough alone. Let's just keep going with the paper. We're fine. We almost got it done. We'll get it done. And then we just, continued using our script, the printed out sheets of paper, and that was fine. But poor Kayla having to deal with our stupid asses. What did I say that one line? I was like, and there I was, and there I was.
That was like 10 minutes of detouring and
There,
giggles.
yeah.
And
There's a
there I
line-
was.
There's a line where I'm supposed to say, and there I was looking at Christina's 4 words, practical magic concept music, but I kept reading it like a 1930s gangster. And there I was looking at those 4 magical words, practical magic concept music.
I had a blast. I thought it was really fun. And we got through it. And by that time we left, by the time we got all our stuff, it was about ready to dump, right? Outside.
It was
the
raining.
sky about opened up. It was drizzling by the time we got out there. Did you and I take our picture that day?
We took like one photo outside of Plaid Dog Studios, just like an outside of the studio kind of photo. Avi has that one on his phone.
It was right before the rain came down. We went back to
The hotel,
the
dumped
hotel.
the gear and all of our stuff, and then we got changed real quick, and then we went to the Painted Burro.
So good. Oh my God. We all got margaritas. And that food was really good.
It was so good. It was hitting the spot. And that, remember I said, I was like, this is the first protein I'm having this entire trip, because I got the fajitas with like the shrimp and the chicken, because that entire weekend I was just carb loading to keep up my like energy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is so nice to have this protein right now. Those margaritas were slamming.
And Avi treated us to dinner that night.
He
And
did treat us to dinner.
thank you, Avi. It was
And
so
he told
good.
us how proud of us he was, and he was like, "You guys, you did it. You recorded your first single together, and congratulations, Christina! Your first studio experience." And he was very sweet.
He was a
about it.
proud dad.
Yeah, he was a proud dad.
Stage dad.
We were calling him Lee the entire.
He's our number one Lee.
He's our Lee. Yeah.
For those
guys
who don't know, that's a Tenacious D reference. Go watch the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got your zaw.
Yeah, pizza.
not your song.
He did bring us pizza.
He did bring, yep, he is
Yeah.
our lead. We gotta get him a Lee shirt.
And then we had to gear up to finish recording our hauntings episode where you had some spooky stories. I had some, Avi had some spooky stories. We all three told spooky tales, but we were snuggled up on the couch, like under blankets.
We were toast by this point. Like, we were trying so hard to rally and keep the party going, but you could tell we were all just so zonked by that point. There is like there's a couple weird things because like I was editing that last portion, like what's it, yesterday? There's a point where you moved, it's probably because you moved the microphone, and I don't know if it like fucked with the connection of the mic.
No.
There's kind of like not clicking, but like there's like interference, like some kind of sound through a majority of that last segment. So sorry to everybody listening if you're wondering what the fuck is up with our sound.
Clicking?
Yeah. There, like, remember when we were first testing the snowball mics and we kept hearing that like weird.
Oh.
I think it's because maybe I didn't the
connection was messed up because I scooted the
yeah
mic a little bit. Bummer.
But I mean, it is what it is. And the Hauntings Exorcisms episode, guys, we recorded that on the road, so expect not the same quality as our normal recordings. So
There you go.
that's all.
That's the disclaimer. And at the end of that recording, Avi threw us a little curveball. I don't know why he started looking into this, but he was like, do you know that Salem's only like 25 minutes from here?
That's right.
We were like, what? Because we had Googled it before and we were like, maybe we could go, but it in our minds was so much farther because I think we were Google Mapsing it from Sudbury, which it is much farther. It's almost an hour from Sudbury to Salem, but from where we were in Waltham to Salem, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. We were like, are we going? Yeah. And you knew Avi wanted to go. He was just waiting for us to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And we had to take pictures on Monday morning before we left town. We had it slotted. That's when we were going to take our promotional pictures because Christina and I, this was our first time meeting. We have no pictures together. You guys might have seen that really
fucking AI.
That really cheesy AI Christina threw together like a couple months ago just to get a picture of us together up on our Instagram. But we have no pictures together. So this was our one shot to get all the shots, right? Like literally all the shots. And we needed new photos for our Plaid Dog campaign. We wanted photos for our Instagram and our social media. So we have like a library of content to pull from whenever, we want to post a picture of us together.
Exactly. So, and the forecast though, the whole weekend was kind of touch and go because Monday they were calling for rain. And we got up, you and I were kind of peeking out the window and getting dressed. We were like, all right, we're just going to get ready, put our makeup on, do our outfit, our first outfit. We laid out everything on the bed. Like, what are we pairing with what? We were so smart about this.
Yeah.
And Avi was like, I think it's just going to be cloudy. I think you guys are going to luck out.
Okay.
So then we packed up all of our things, checked out.
We put all of the clothes that we had for the shoot into like one little brown paper bag.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, we're going to have to get changed in the car, in between. Because we had like, 3 or 4 outfits planned. So we put everything in one bag. And we had our first outfit on that I guess we were going to shoot in. I don't remember which. The skirts, the wrap skirts and the little black crop tops with the sweaters.
Yes.
Our Sally look, right?
Sally look. Yep.
Yeah. So we got in the car. We headed to Salem. On the way, we stopped at a CVS to get some hair mousse and some hairspray.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Because I didn't have any hair products with me, and I was like, if it's gonna rain, my hair's just gonna poof the fuck up. So I need to get this shit under control.
Mine's so poofed up. I'm so glad you had that stuff with you because after I used it, it was better.
Yeah,
better.
So I made sure we got some stuff on the way, so we were good for our shoot. And then we rolled into Salem. I don't know what time it was. Was it like 10 a.m.?
Yeah, it was pretty early.
We rolled into Salem. We headed right for Pickering Wharf because I was like, if we're going to get any photos in Salem, we need to get some by the docks and the waterfront. And it's so beautiful over there. Yes. And I want to know because this was Christina's first experience in Salem. And her first experience was supposed to be when we go together in October. But for some reason, the universe wanted me and Christina to meet a month earlier and wanted Christina to visit Salem a month earlier. So everything kind of got shifted up by a month, right? Yeah.
And that's where the synchronicities come back in that we were talking about. We had such a good, continuing on with that, such a good experience at Plaid Dog. Everything just like fell into place. We were ahead of schedule. we had all the time. We were able to record. And that's, again, another reason why learning those lines or memorizing those lines was so fucking hard, because not only were we traveling, not only were we having to record an episode, we had to concentrate on the music. You had to concentrate on the harmonies. And we knew we had to take these pictures. It was a multi-layer event.
Every day
Right?
was something.
Every
right?
day was hustling. No,
We had-
every day I'm shuffling.
Every day it's hustling. The only downtime we really had was the Wayside Inn, where we
Yes.
could actually just like be a tourist and enjoy taking in the sights and
But still, we had to be there at a certain time, and we had to be back at the hotel at a certain time.
right, because we had the live.
Yeah.
Right. So every time slot during this like 4-day weekend was accounted for. We had something in every
And then it was like the synchronicity of Salem being closer than we thought. And then one of our locations, Avi had contacted, and they just so happened to answer his message, which I don't know what the odds are, but I've messaged them since then and haven't gotten a reply. But they gave us permission to shoot there.
Well, yeah, he messaged them, and I think he got like a pop back message that says it could take us up to however many business days to respond to you, because like their volume right now, I guess, because it's getting closer to Halloween and fall, they're like pretty booked up, like as far because they're also a tattoo parlor, so they're usually pretty busy around this time. So we weren't expecting to get a response from them in like that quick of a turnaround time. So the place that we messaged was Black Veil. What was it called? The Shop of Drear and Wonder?
Drear and Wonder
Isn't that so
in Salem.
so freaking goth.
Owned and operated, right, by Matthew and Ryan Murray.
The Murray
And
brothers.
art is out of this world. I was very excited to see this place, but that's not where we went first. But the fact that Avi reached out to them and was like thought to ask permission, because we were going to go and kind of like, okay, go stand over there and take a picture.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I think they encourage photos being taken in their shop because the lighting, right? The lighting, it's already set up. All the lighting, they had like
Little
uplight.
spotlights here and there.
Yeah, and fog. They had a fog machine there. They had couches for people to sit on and pose. Like, so that place, they know what they're doing.
Impeccable.
Impeccable.
But I could not have asked for a better Salem experience. It was like an appetizer of Salem, in the fact that it was not stressful with crowds. And like, if we would have tried to do that in October, I doubt there would have been any real probability of us being able to do that. But there was
Right.
one person there when we showed up to take those pictures. But let's keep talking about Pickering Wharf and what we did there.
Yeah, because that was our first stop. That was our first location.
Mhm.
So we parked. We found parking right on the little street, like the main strip, right before you step
Right.
onto, I guess, that grassy knoll or whatever that is.
Yeah.
The grassy knoll. And then we, walked the short distance to there's a, I don't know, like a, what do you call it? A lake
Like a
house?
boathouse?
Boathouse, yeah. Beautiful siding, like has that old kind of like New
Clapboard.
England, yeah,
Yeah.
siding.
Yeah, but it's like treated with the
Yeah, what is
that
that called?
Japanese fire technique.
Is that what it is?
Suzuki Ban or something like that.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful building right on the water. There was a dock right off of that.
Mhm.
And that was kind of like where we kind of floated over to first,
Yep.
right? It kind of just drew us to it. Let's go to the dock. Okay.
Mhm.
So Avi took some pictures of us against the house, right? With that beautiful boarding
Mhm.
behind us, and some of us walking along the dock, and some of us with our feet dangling off the dock.
They're very cute pictures.
And the whole time I'm like, please, Avi, do not fall into the water with your friggin' camera. I wasn't even worried about him. I'm like, don't fuck up your camera. So yeah, I'm like, don't fall in, please, Avi.
Yeah.
And then he's like, whoa, just joking around. I'm like, don't even joke because you're gonna be sorry. So yeah, we took some beautiful pictures on the dock, and then
We
went
walked along the rocks, the border,
Yes.
the wall of rocks that goes out into the ocean, and got some pictures with the boats behind us. And
There was a big boat right off of the main dock, but it was covered up. There was like sheets over it. I guess it was under construction or whatever. But the boat was called the Friendship.
The Friendship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. I wish we could have got it in the background, but our pictures are so freaking cute.
I know.
They're
They
very
are.
cute.
Sometimes, I don't know if it's the same boat, but they do have like a pirate ship style boat. It might be that boat. It's just like
hanging out there, but like usually during October, the sheets are off of it and you can see the actual whole ship.
They had bits and pieces of like the mast taken off and like there were workmen
Yeah.
doing something to it. It had scaffolding on it and stuff too.
Yeah, there's some kind of renovation going on. I don't know.
Mhm.
Hopefully it'll be good to go by October so you could see it without all that stuff on it.
So we took some really cute sisterly pictures that some of them were like, we don't look like sisters in this one.
Well, sisterlies, it could have, hey, mister, she's my sister. Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure some of the people walking by thought it was an engagement shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. What lesbians are dressing exactly the same? But I mean, it happens, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and here's my husband taking our picture of us holding hands walking down a.
Oh my God. Yeah. So then we took pictures on the rocks and then we went down in the sand and we're playing with the shells and things like that. And he got some,
You took some of the flowers off the side and like we were putting them in each other's hair and like we were doing like, really cutesy, witchy little things with the flowers.
I think we did a change. We did a costume outfit change.
Yeah, yeah. So after the wrap skirt and the crop top photos, we jumped back into the truck and we changed into our lace outfits, which I had on like a white lacy top, jean shorts, and my brown aviator boots, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And then Christina bought this really cute green dress with the black lace over it. Kind of looks like the dress that Jillian has on in that whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of were like we're working with the color schemes of that scene
Mhm.
when Gary comes to visit
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
kitchen. Yeah. So that's what we were rolling with there. We tried getting some photos on the grassy knoll in front of that, like, remember that cement bench? But it just looks like we're laying in front of somebody's gravestone.
Yeah, we wanted to recreate some of their promotional pictures that you can see in like posters and stuff like that. And there's one of Sandra and Nicole laying down almost in like a Pisces.
Mhm.
They're just laying together.
Yeah.
And we were trying to do that, but it was so awkward because the Avi couldn't get high enough and like there were bees
Oh
all
my
up on the
God.
clover.
The
Oh my
bees.
God.
The bees. Like you could see my face in every picture.
We were nervous.
I'm not even posing. I'm just focused on all the bees around
Yeah.
us. And I'm just like, oh, I don't want to get stung.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't
But
think
the
we used
outfits were
any
cute.
yeah, the outfits were cute, but I don't think we used any of the grass laying ones for any of our promotional shots because like all of them just look super awkward.
They do. They do.
Right?
But then we scooted over back toward the beach a little bit where
Mhm.
we sat on the rock wall and recreated that picture of
Kitchen.
Jillian sitting on like the counter in the kitchen
Yeah.
and Sally standing next to her. So we
Yeah.
did a couple of those. They're super cute.
Remember we found the fence with the clematis on the
Yeah,
little
right back behind there. We sat in front of the fence and I felt so like a fae. I felt like a little fae person.
We got some cute little witchy sister photos there. Oh, and then remember we went to leave to go because you had been in touch with the Regatta Pub.
This was just now. I was like, should we see if Rob is the bar manager at the Regatta where we're going to host our event? I was like, should I reach out to him, see if he's there today? I just emailed him. I don't have his number. So who knows when you check your email? This is
Right.
the other synchronicity. He was there that day. He's like,
Yeah.
come on by. So we threw our skirts again and went and
Well,
had
we've been-
lunch at the Regatta.
We've been talking to this guy over email for what, couple months now, trying
Yeah.
to figure out a signature. He offered to do a signature drink for us. Like he's been so accommodating. So we were like, we gotta meet up with him before we come here next month and just like,
Yeah.
But before, do you remember before we went to the Regatta Pub, we were doing Avi was like doing like because it was a one-way street. So he had to like make a right and go around. And as we were driving around the block, we came across another white picket fence, a garden gate with the
Mhm.
beautiful clematis and beautiful purple pink flowers. And I'm
Mhm.
like, stop, we need to take pictures in front of that garden gate. So
It was an alleyway.
yeah, it was a back alley.
Somebody's house.
We wouldn't have even found that. And that's our main campaign photo, right?
Yeah.
And I
It-
love that photo.
yeah, white trellis, gate, all the morning glories were it was so pretty. Like I know Salem's gonna be magical and witchy as shit in the fall, but going there when there's like flowers still blooming and stuff was wild.
Right.
And it was perfect for our shots because yeah, like Practical Magic again, it's a Halloween movie, but a lot of it is greens and flowers and plants and gardens. So it worked out great.
It was so beautiful. I think those are probably, aside from the Black Veil shop,
Mm-hmm.
I think though that setting is probably some of my favorite pictures in that entire day that we took.
They're
I
very
just-
pretty.
It was such like a fun little back alley find that we just happened upon, and it was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, it was when we were laying in the grass. It drizzled like a brief moment. There were a couple drops, but the rest of the time, perfect. It was not too hot. And like a little bit, the sun started to come out, but I thought it was me sweating my ass off or getting rained out. But it
right.
was fine.
Yeah,
Just fine.
the sun even started coming out when we went to leave the wharf, right? When we were
Hmm.
heading to the regatta, the sun actually started coming out. And at that point, I was like getting hot. I was like, oh
Hmm.
my God, I got to get changed again. But then we went to the regatta. We met up with Rob. He was like asking us a little bit about, I guess, the podcast and how long, like, we've been doing things. And we just like, chatting with him a little bit. He was telling us about the good stuff on the menu, the beers that they have. They had a really awesome watermelon. What was it? Down East cider. I had a
Ooh,
watermelon Down East cider. So refreshing.
yeah.
I was gonna get a pumpkin. He was like, "That's not out yet." So,
Oh,
but the watermelon was great.
yeah. You
Um,
had some chowder.
I had some. Oh, that chowder there is so good.
I had a crab cake burger kind of
BLT
thing.
burger.
Oh, so
Yeah,
good. Yeah, it was very tasty.
I had
I
a
actually
turkey
finished that
bread.
later on that day on the ride home. Could you
Did
hear
you?
me munching in the back seat?
No, no, no. But the food there was really good. The
Hmm.
fries were great. I had the turkey bacon club, and I don't
That
remember
was a
what Avi.
huge
It was
sandwich.
huge. A lot of food. The portions there are ginormous. And then Avi got his standard burger. He's a
Mhm.
burger guy. Everywhere we go, he gets a burger. And then do you remember after the food? Oh, while we're eating the food, what were we doing?
What were we doing?
We were watching that telenovela or whatever the fuck.
We got sucked into this telenovela that was on mute, but it was more like a Jerry Springer kind of thing. You could see
Right.
like the title along the bottom. It was written out in Spanish.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're just watching. We're like, what's happening? And the bartender, no, the waitress was like, do you want me to translate for you? And you were like, we said, no, just turn it up. Because you kind of knew what was going on. And she like chimed in here and there, but we watched it the whole fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty entertaining
That's
to
so
say.
funny.
So
Yeah,
then
I forgot all about that.
yeah, yeah. So then after we ate, we kind of left Avi. Me and Christina had all of our stuff with us because we had one more costume change to do. And this was the big one because we were going to switch locations now at this point and move over to the Black Veil Shop of Dreer and Wonder.
Hmm.
And if you guys go check out their Instagram, the inside of the shop is just amazing. So our theme for these photos, we wanted to transform ourselves into the aunts, Jet and Francis.
You were stalkered Channing. You were like mini stalkered. It was impeccable. It was amazing.
It's the resting bitch face.
So funny. I was blown away. I was like, all right, girl. Yes.
I have no problem playing a stoic ass bitch because you know what? I can't memorize my lines ever, but
Yeah.
my face says it all.
There you go.
Right?
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. So we scurried off. We grabbed our stuff, grabbed our makeup, grabbed our hair stuff, our outfits, went to the
Yeah.
regatta bathroom.
We had a duffel bag full of stuff.
We
Right?
took over the counter in the bathroom.
There's
And we were
so
in there for
many-
like a half hour.
We were in there
Maybe
for a while.
longer.
And there was a person in the stall behind us taking a shit.
Doing their thing for 15, 20 minutes.
They were in there for a long time. And like me and Christina look at each other at one point. Christina's like, what are they doing?
Are they okay?
I know, are they okay?
I think they were just on their lunch break, probably on their phone.
Yeah, I don't know, but
know.
they finally got out of that stall and they're kind of like looking at us like, what the fuck are you
I-
doing?
I
Wait,
have
they were-
some counter footage of you doing my hair. Justina
Yeah.
like teased the shit out of her hair. I was like, can you do that for me? And you did my makeup and I loved it. And I was like, boom,
I was like,
eyeshadow.
all right, we need to smoke this up a lot. So I went full on smoky eye, full on eyeliner, more blush. The jersey bump was going like super like Stalker's got that little bump going.
Mhm.
My hair is super long. I have not cut it probably in 2 years, so it looks like ratty ass hair extensions, which the aunts kind of have that look going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is perfect. So yeah, I teased Christina's hair, smoked up her eyes a little bit. There were a couple people coming in and out of the bathroom, like, what are they
The one
doing?
lady was like, y'all look great. I was like,
Yeah,
thank you.
She was washing her hands next to us. She's like, y'all look great.
I loved your dress so much. I think the high collar made it. It was beautiful.
Where did I get that dress? I don't even remember where I got that dress. I remember when I saw it, wherever I fucking got it, maybe Kohl's? I don't remember. I just thought it was so witchy.
Mm-hmm. Super
And
witchy.
I actually wore that dress for my rehearsal dinner the night before my wedding.
I love it.
Yeah.
It was perfect for the occasion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we gathered our things. We got ready. We said bye to Rob. Said, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
drove over to the Black Veil and did a little more prepping. Justina, Avi has this awesome picture. Both of the doors on the one side of the car are open, and she's using the one window of the car door to do her probably baby's breath, and I'm using the other car door, and we're just like
Right, the
prepping our
baby's
hair with the
breath.
baby's breath.
The baby's breath. So, all right, we had before we even went there, we went there with the notion that we wanted to do this photo shoot dressed as the. So I was like looking around my house because I don't throw anything out. I'm a pack rat. I have dead flowers all over my office. I have a basket full of dead flowers. And I just so happen to have like one little bushel of baby's breath flowers that I shoved into a Ziploc bag, put it in the front of my suitcase, and I was like, all right, for our aunt's shoot, we're going to put the baby's breath in her hair like they have in their hair when they come back from the solstice celebration. So I was like, we're going to do the baby's breath. And that's what we did. We were both using a car door window as a mirror. So yeah, we had to post that picture up on Instagram or the Patreon or whatever. But
Can't wait to share these photos. And it's like, I want to share them all at once, but we cannot. Avi took so many awesome pictures. So here's the thing. He took over 800 pictures, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We had to, Justina and I had to pick out between 7 and 10 to give to Plaid Dog for the promotional photos. By the end of the first night, I think we whittled it down to 100. We're like, how are we going to do this? And then Justina and I sat down again and really did some deep cuts and got it down to 20.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we just had such a hard time because they were all so good. So we can't wait to show you. But definitely the Black Veil was my favorite. And even Avi said, he was like, when you guys got into those outfits and you were in that ambiance of that beautiful shop, he was like, you were so comfortable. Those photos, you just look way more comfortable than you did before.
As witches.
Yeah, in our natural skin.
And another thing I want to point out about Avi is that he's used to doing a lot of vanilla ass basic shoots. Okay? He does a lot of weddings. He does a lot of baptisms, christenings, engagement shoots, pregnancy announcements. Like he does all of like, the life milestones, the cute stuff, like, but Avi's real jam, which he never gets to do, is like creepy ass aesthetic shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so fucking excited when he walked into that shop. Just looking at his face, him seeing all of the shots that he could line up and set up, and like the lighting and the smoke machine and the furniture and the fireplace with all of that melted candle wax all over it.
Yeah.
He was just in his element, and I was like, he's gonna have so much fun with this shit. And he was saying that the whole time. He's like, guys, I never get to do shoots like this. This is awesome. Right?
Yeah, even taking some of the pictures, you could see how jazzed he was. He was like, oh my God, this is so good. He was so excited. There was so much for your eyes to take in, and both of you were like, we want our house to look like this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. So when we walked in, the woman who was working there, I don't think she had any idea what was going on, and it obviously was not her who answered our message, because we walked in there and I was like, hey, we messaged you earlier about doing a photo shoot here, and she was like, oh, what was the response?
Right.
we were like, we have permission, is that okay? She's like, oh yeah, if you have permission, then yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, she let us do our little photo shoot. We were in there for probably a good like hour or 2 hours.
Yeah. And when we first walked in, there was one couple in there. I think I was so blinded by everything, I didn't even give a fuck about who else was in there.
Right.
But they left. We had the whole place to ourselves for a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
And even if we were there longer, we spent a quarter of the time shopping.
Yeah, we shopped there too, because it is like a shop. They sell all kinds. Well, first of all, the art that the Murray brothers create, because they're beautiful artists. Their art is just insane. If you're into like dark and gothic creepy stuff, they're all about that stuff. They actually run the night fair, the Salem night fair that they've been having every year for a few years now, I think. And me and Avi went to the night fair last year. That's the one with the creepy Black Phillip on the stilts where we signed the book. Yeah. They run that fair. And they were set up there last year too. And Avi was like, I want to buy some of the art. But he ended up not buying any of their prints while we were there. So when we were at the shop for this photo shoot, we both made it a point to buy a few of the prints, which very beautiful.
I think I only got one postcard. I think, is there art? I'm not positive. You'll have to tell me. But the other art that I got, I followed the guy hold on, let me look up his name. It was like a bat head and like a 3-piece suit, like a cool suit, and it said Bruce Wayne on it. And he has a whole series of these other, it's called Gentleman Bats or something like that. But I took a picture of the print that I bought next to Odin and tagged him, and he liked it. So it's like Gentleman Bats by Nick Demakes, Demakes. So cute. And then I bought a print poster that actually Justina has hanging in her house. I don't know the artist though. Do you know who that is?
Which one is it? The
Till Death Do Us Part? Yeah.
I don't know who that artist is. That somebody, well, Tim, remember I was telling you about Tim Weber?
Yeah.
He's been following my career since I basically started playing the
What up,
guitar.
Tim?
He sent us that poster as a wedding gift
There you go.
for our wedding, and then we framed it and put it above our toilet in our house.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know who the artist is though. Very beautiful print. I love it.
Yep. Those I would have bought so much more. I was looking at the hats.
Oh
I was
my
looking
God, I
at
spent
all
so
of the
much
things.
there. Yeah, it's so easy to spend all the money there. They had candles, they have crystals, they have just your random
Incense. They got.
tchotchkes,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
cool.
Those photos are my favorite. They're
Same.
so killer cool. They're really cool.
We have not posted any of those yet, right? We
Mm-mm.
haven't even used any of those for our campaign.
No, I think we should premiere a few closer to Halloween.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So we took our pictures, we did our shopping, and earlier that day, so I was supposed to fly out. This is Monday. My flight, I was feeling good because my flight wasn't until 6 p.m. I felt like we had all the time in the world to do whatever. I said, you guys drop me at the airport whenever you feel like leaving. I'm fine hanging out at the airport. And I had a notification around noon, like it was delayed till 7. I was like, that's not bad. It's fine. I would have hunkered down. And then by the time we were leaving Blackvale, I got another notification that now it was delayed again and it wouldn't be getting in until after 1 a.m. that night. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this kind of sucks. And you were like, why don't you just come back to Jersey with us and fly out of Newark?
Yeah.
So I thought about it. I sat on it and I was like, all right, let me see what's cheapest. Cause like, first of all, fucking Spirit. This was a Spirit airline. And you know, if it's delayed like more than twice, it's getting canceled, which it was. But this flight only cost me like $25, like to begin with. So I didn't feel too bad about spending some money on a return flight that would give me peace of mind.
I didn't realize flights were that cheap ever. I thought flights were always like at least $100.
I went through some like shady back thing, which almost got me a subscription that cost $69 a month or some shit.
What?
So I got out of that.
But what back end shit is that?
I don't know. It's called like eDream Bookings or something.
Okay, right.
Don't fall for it.
That sounds sketch.
So we're in the car leaving Blackvale, and you were like, well, you have a half hour to make a choice. Do you want to fly out of Boston or do you want to come back with us? So I'm looking to try to see what's cheaper. I was like, you know what? I don't want to get in, even if something else did leave that evening. I didn't want to get there, be stressed at the airport, and then fly at night, which I don't like flying to begin with. And then it's like dark out. So you feel like you're in some kind of like tin can.
Yeah.
Get into Charlotte when it is dark, find my car in the parking garage at night alone, and then drive 45 minutes home at night. I was like, I would love to just go back with you. I really appreciated the invitation. So we drove another 5 hours back to Newark together, or back to New Jersey.
Yeah, and Avi had to deal with us screaming rent at the top of our lungs, Josie and the Pussycats. Like, we did not shut the fuck up the entire time.
I was losing my hearing in my right side because his speakers on the left side of the car weren't working.
That's right.
And by the end, I was like, oh my God, my hearing. I put my duffel bag like against my speaker so I could hear it out of yours.
Okay.
But I couldn't even hear myself. We sang 3 hours straight at least.
Yeah, the entire time. Well, yeah, because I started dozing at one point, and then I feel like when I start dozing, then Avi starts losing steam. So I was like, we need to keep our driver conscious here.
Yeah.
Crank it up. Crank up the volume.
And it was pouring.
Oh, yeah, it was.
The weather was awful.
Those lightning strikes, like in the distance, were horrifying. I was like, please don't get any closer. Please don't get.
Avi was a little travel angel.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's good on the road. So we stopped at like one subway gas station bathroom or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was like the only stop the entire way, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just stopped once, and we got back around 9. Your place?
10? Yeah.
9:30. And I think we all took showers, and then I was about ready to pass out.
Remember, Avi went into the basement to fix the fridge.
Right. And then you used the toilet and you're like, well, that's broken now.
Oh my God, that's okay. Yeah, while you were showering, I went to the other bathroom to finally take my poop because we were on the road all day, so I had nowhere to poop. I ain't pooping on the road. So I finally was able to go to the bathroom. I go to flush, and I'm like, the only person who was at my house the entire weekend was my mom because she was taking care of the cats.
Straight up went right to blaming your mom.
No, it was her. The chain was fucking broken right off of the latch, and I was like, this shit was not broken before we left. Because Avi makes it a point to tell me not to jam the handle down too hard because it's very delicate. So I only flush it a certain way till I hear the flush go off and then I let it go.
Mhm.
But my mom probably was like jamming the fucking thing. I texted her. I was like, "Did you use the small bathroom while we were away?" She's like, "Yeah." It like the flusher wasn't going, and then she like made up some excuse. I was like, "This bitch broke the fucking chain." She broke the chain. Yeah. So then after poor Avi, he just got done. He just walked in the door from driving 5 fucking hours, had to fix a broken freezer downstairs, came back upstairs. Me and you were lazy asses on the couch. And I'm just like, oh, by the way, the toilet chain is broken. And he's like, what the fuck?
Oh my God. And did we sit down? We also went through the pictures that night. We sat, I was like, can we see the pictures?
Yeah.
So we had a little show and tell of slideshow of all our pictures, and we were just oohing and ahhing.
Yeah, and they weren't even edited yet, just right off the camera. They just looked great. So Avi did an amazing job on those. We watched a little Grim Life Collective.
Mhm.
We watched a little, what else did we? Oh, we hunkered down and we put on Practical Magic.
Yep, I want a do-over.
Yeah, me too. I woke up and like you guys heard was it the last episode? I woke up and it was just pitch black. Christina turned the movie off. I was like,
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love Practical Magic, but I was so fucking tired.
You were toast.
Yeah.
Toast. It was a long weekend, long drive, both ways.
Both ways.
And it was just it was a great weekend though. We got a lot of content. We got our single done.
Yeah. The next morning, on the way to work, on the way to Avi's work, he dropped me off at the airport, but we missed the exit. We had to loop around. I was like, I have plenty of time. Stop stressing. So he dropped me off in Terminal C. Okay. I get through TSA. That took a little while. I got pat down twice. Did we talk about that?
I don't remember if we talked about that on the first segment.
I don't think so, but I think, okay, so I was pulled aside on the way to Justina, and when I looked at the little screen, I don't know if it was my button on my jeans that set it off, but all I saw was a big red circle over my crotch. I was like, did my Diva Cup set this shit off?
Venus period set off the radar. Oh my God.
Justina was like, what is your Diva Cup metal? Like, what the fuck? So I got pat down there. He dropped me off at Terminal C. I got pat down again. Not in my crotch, but got through. I look at my boarding pass and I'm like, A25. And I'm like, God damn it. I was in the wrong terminal. So I ran downstairs, got on the bus, got on the shuttle bus, got to Terminal A. As soon as I got into Terminal A, their alarm system went off. They were like, this is an emergency situation. Please remain where you are. I put my earbuds in. I was like, I need to at least get to my gate.
Yeah.
I will figure it out then.
Yeah.
So it was going off. Apparently there was a fire alarm pulled somewhere.
No, there was a fire.
Oh, Jesus, there was a fire. Oh my God. So I got to the gate. I marcoed you that I was there safely. Yeah. The flight back was easy. I was worried that I would have to pay an extra day for my car to be in the parking garage. Yeah. But that shit was broken, so I didn't have to pay for the extra day.
Horse thief!
They may have charged my car.
Horse thief!
Horse thief!
Horse thief.
Yeah. And then what else? What else happened? I got home. I had maybe like an hour to lay down. I was so tired. And then my brother-in-law showed up for his visit.
Oh, that's right. You had company. You had to entertain after that whole fucking trip.
Yeah, dude.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry. I was toast that whole like next 2 days. I was like, if I had to entertain anybody right now, put a fork in me. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. Thank you so much for not insisting, but you were like, you could just come back with us to New Jersey.
Like, I didn't
glad
want
I
you
did.
Staying at the airport all fucking night. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
So
I was with friends. We had a good time.
Yeah.
You guys had cup of noodles when we got back that night, which sounds
right.
really good right now.
Yeah. That's right, because you guys we had our food, like we had a bunch of leftovers from the trip, right? And we had those all with us, but I was like, we had a whole box of pizza. The pizza we brought with us, which, by the way, remember how I put that in the microwave to keep Punky away from it?
Yeah.
It I forgot about it. I never put it in the fridge.
Oh
That
no.
whole pizza was like it was in there overnight for like the whole day after it was in the microwave. Completely forgot about it, so I just threw it out.
Oh.
A whole half a pie of pizza.
Oh.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
so totally forgot about it. But like, yeah, we were like, I don't want to eat the pizza because it's so late. It's so greasy. I
It's
would
gonna make
rather
our
just
stomachs upset, yeah.
have some cup of noodle and some mint tea. And I made Christine a nice little cup of tea.
That tea was good.
And yeah, we had some tea and cup of noodle and just fucking hit the hay. And it was fucking tired.
Dude, we talked all weekend. Like
Uh-huh.
if we weren't talking, we were singing. And if we weren't
Right.
singing, we were sleeping.
We were always singing because if it wasn't in the studio, it was in the car annoying the
Mhm.
shit out of Avi. It was a very good weekend. I'm surprised we still had voices after
I
it.
know. Yeah.
Right?
The tea was very soothing. It
Yeah.
was very good. So now, this recording, our campaign has launched. And at the beginning, so I didn't tell you this, but I think I showed you at the beginning of this episode, you probably heard our pitch video audio. Those are the lines that Justine and I could not fucking memorize. But if you're interested in seeing and hearing our Magnolia Street single, you can head to the link in the description of this show, and it'll also give you some different ways of how to support us and enable us to hopefully make the full EP album with 4 other songs.
Yeah.
But all that information's in the description.
Yeah, donations start as low as $10. They go all the way up to 1,000. But
Mhm.
whatever your price point is, we are grateful to whatever you want to contribute to our project because every little bit, it all adds up. So every little bit counts. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And we also have some really cool perks lined up for anybody who does monetarily support this campaign, from like stickers to signed posters to we have like a whole digital package of like studio goodies and content, like behind the scenes content. We have
Mhm.
so many hours of studio footage. It'd be such a dream to do these other 4 songs.
It
Right?
would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you can't monetarily help right now, just sharing, reposting, it would be very helpful to get all the Practical Magic people on board with this. And like some of the perks, if you sign up, you get to be in the studio with us when we do get to record these other albums. So make sure you read the little descriptions of the perks, and then you get to be a part of the process and tell us what you think about the songs. Are the drums too heavy? Do you want to hear more cowbell? You
Yeah.
know, let us
Cowbell.
know.
Your dad wants to hear more cowbell,
He
he said,
did.
right?
Yeah. Next song.
Yeah. Next song. Which song? Which song is that gonna
I
be?
don't know. I don't know.
Is there anything else we wanted to say before I guess we sign off today? This is a bonus episode, so hopefully you guys found it and listened to this because this is outside of the realm of our normal posting time.
This, I'm making a visual one. So this will be on the Patreon. And I was going to try to intersplice some of the videos, but I
Okay.
think those will be their own things. I think you have most of the video now, but I'll put what I have, I guess.
Okay.
So we got back Tuesday.
We have not stopped working because like the
No.
podcast in all of this podcasting has not stopped. So in between campaign launch and all the craziness setting that up, and me and Christina trying to navigate this spreadsheet that Plaid Dog has us working from, like it's just a little confusing. So we're trying to get the hang of that on top of getting our edits done and uploading, getting our uploads scheduled and everything else that we do for the podcast. So that has not stopped. So we are a little tired.
A little tired.
A little tired.
Yes.
But thank you everybody for your support. We love you guys and we could not do this without your support. So it really means the world to us.
Yeah. Thank you again. Please reshare, repost, tell all your friends, and visit our campaign page link. It's in the show description below. And this is, we're going to keep going with our normal Fridays. And actually, you and I have to record a WMSR still.
Ah,
I know.
I
know.
Are the notes for that even done? Did we
I need 2 more songs, but the rest is pretty
okay.
fun.
All right. And then also we do have our year celebration episode coming up. And also we do plan on doing a whole Salem trip recap because our trip is coming up. We get to go back to the
I know.
plan.
Oh my God.
The road is fucking hard.
Yeah, road is fucking tough. All
Yeah.
right. I love Mike to death, but he was not on board with the Tenacious D references. And
Yeah, I don't think he
didn't
got
know what was happening.
He didn't get any of those. Yeah.
Cool bonus. I love reliving this. So fun. All right, man. I'm Christina.
I'm Justina.
And we'll see you next time.
At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Magnolia Street. Would you go down